All right, everybody, welcome to the high noon edition of Pugs and Company, a show that we do twice a day, every day. We do one show at noon. We call that the high noon show. And then we do another one. We come back at around 9 o'clock p.m. Not around 9 o'clock p.m. It's at 9 o'clock p.m. I don't know why I said that, but I did. We do that. We call that Pillow Talk. This show is more topic driven. We try to go through all the things that people are talking about today, whether it's current events, trending topics, or just things that are making the news. That's what we do here. We try to prep you up for the day ahead so that you know everything. I got to make sure everything's working here. All right, everything is working here. We prep you up for all the things that people might talk about, just so you don't feel like a dummy. Although, trust me, you're not going to get any takes here. They're going to make you necessarily smarter. You'll just have heard the relative conversation beforehand. Oh, what's that? My Mr. Popular. Let me see here. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's the thing. All right, sorry, distracted. Here's the thing. I've been sick. I've been sick for 2 days. I have gone through 36 hours of absolute hell. Oh my God. And it's from the booster. You people were right. It's hell. No, you're not right. You're not right. I'm not saying all I'm saying is if the past 36 hours that I've just come through is any indication, even on a tiny little scale, if it's any indication of what having the coronavirus is all about, then count me out. I do not want it. I got the first 2 shots, right? You got to get the shots. You got to get the vax. All right, I'm a team player. I'll get them. And the first 2 shots, they were Pfizer. They were the Pfizer brand. And the first one, I was like, oh, man, 12 hours later after getting the shot. I'm like, oh, man, I don't feel great. But I still went to work. I still did everything. I was just a little tired, and I slept for like 12 hours, but I got up and I could do things. After the second shot, same thing. Not quite as bad as the first time, but the same thing. All right, I feel a little weak. Oh, God. All right, this is going to suck again. But I went to work. I was fine. There were no issues. Didn't have a fever. Just felt slight, irritating, nagging headache. Arm was really sore, all of that stuff. First 2, Pfizer, Team Pfizer, I'm thinking, I'm down with this. I can handle it. So when the idea of the booster came up, I'm like, well, yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of fun, but I'll get the booster, no problem. So I go down to the CVS, right? And they're like, okay, you're getting the Moderna booster. And I'm like, but I'm Team Pfizer. I thought that was a thing. I thought you were just a part of a team here. I thought that's what it was. And they're like, no, it doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, doctors are saying that it's probably better that you mix and match because then your system gets different doses. And I'm like, well, all right, if the doctors are saying that, look, I'm on team whatever people who went to college for a bunch of years studying this kind of stuff say is probably what I'm. But you know what? If those doctors want to talk about TV or movies or just general topics, they better be deferring to me because I know more about that shit than some guy who didn't go to parties in his college experience because he was home cracking the books. But on this stuff, I'm going to listen to the doctors. So they give me the Moderna shot. And I'm fine, right? I take the shot. I'm like, man, that was easy. I don't understand what people are so upset about this for. I went shopping. This is like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. I went food shopping. I got all the food ready. Everything's fine. I came back home. I did a little writing on this never-ending book project that I'm working on. Felt great. Then, around 8:30, I started to feel like, oh man, I am really tired again. Oh, well, not a big deal. I went through this with the first 2 shots. I'm just going to sleep for 12 hours. So I canceled the Pillow Talk show for Monday night. I'm like, you know what? I just can't do it. I don't have the energy. I don't have the emotional fortitude to be able to do this for 2 hours. I can't. So I canceled the Pillow Talk show. This is Monday night at like 8:30. So I go to sleep. I was hanging out with my kid. My kid's sick too, so I'm hanging out with him. Over the phone. We're watching Monday Night Football, and like 8:30, I'm like, dude, I gotta bail. I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. And he's like, okay, you go sleep. So I go to sleep. I woke up at 4:20. Yeah, I noticed the clock on the microwave when I came out to the kitchen. 4:20 in the morning. I wake up on Tuesday morning. Oh my God. chills, freezing cold, shivering like where my teeth are chattering, and then my jaw, like shivering so bad that my jaw tightens up and all my muscles are tightening up, and I have a splitting headache at 4:20 in the morning. So I take my temperature, 102 plus, 102 plus temperature, a good 12 hours after getting that infernal Moderna booster. Stayed up, couldn't fall back asleep because I felt like garbage. And from that point forward, the next 36 hours of my life were absolute hell. Just splitting headache. It wasn't a nagging headache like it was the first two times. I'll tell you how much of a headache I had. I had bought a bottle on Monday of ibuprofen, 24 tablets of ibuprofen, just because I thought, well, I may as well, I might have that nagging headache I might need this for. I went through that bottle in 2 days. 2 days, it's gone. I had to go out last night again and buy more ibuprofen because I went through an entire 24 tablet bottle of ibuprofen in 36 hours, 2 days. Oh, it was miserable. And then so on what would it have been? Yesterday, Wednesday morning, I wake up. Now I wake up again at 5:00 in the morning and I'm wide awake. And I'm like, oh, chills, still feeling like trash. Take my temperature, holding steady at 102. 102 for a guy my age is a bad temperature. It means that you're sick. Oh, and I haven't eaten anything now. Now it's going on like 2 days of me not eating anything. Not because I was vomiting, not because I was nauseous, because I had no appetite for anything. I think I had like 2 chocolate chip cookies and then I tried to eat a bowl of mashed potatoes, like microwaved powdered mashed potatoes. And I had like 3 scoops of that. And I'm like, okay, we're good with this. And that's normally a treat for me. I love the microwave mashed potatoes. That's a good deal. So all day yesterday, during the day, I'm like, oh, maybe I should try and do a high noon show. And I'm like, no way. Every time I tried to look at the computer to like start doing a little bit of prep on these hot topics that I do here, I was like, nope, don't want to do this. This is not something I want to do. So I fell asleep yesterday after waking up at 5 in the morning. I fell asleep at about 10 o'clock in the morning, right? And I woke up Wednesday afternoon at like 1:30 in the morning. I woke up in a bed that was soaked with my sweat, completely soaked, pillow grossly soaked. I had to change the sheets. I had to change all of the bedding. It was so disgusting. And in the middle of me changing the bedding and changing the pillowcases and all that stuff, you know what I realized? That was fine. That's pretty good. I was like, hey, wait a second now. I gotta check my temperature because it's been a solid 102 for about 36 hours now. And it was normal. And that was it. I broke the temperature while I slept yesterday afternoon. I've been feeling fine since then. Like no head, slight headache every so often. So I'm still taking some ibuprofen. That's why I ran out to the store last night to get some new ibuprofen. I went to McDonald's and I pigged out. I was so hungry. I was like, oh my God, and on the app, they got like buy one Big Mac, get a second one for free. So I got 2 Big Macs. I got a quarter pounder. I was so hungry. So that's it. That's my story. And here I am back today. I'm not feeling 100%. I believe they call it the long haul. I don't know what it is. I don't have a whole lot of energy, so I'm manufacturing energy. But I feel good, and I appreciate a lot of people sent me well wishes on the Facebook. A lot of people sent me well wishes on the Twitter. I appreciate that, and so here we are. So like I said, I don't know. I don't know what having the full blown Rona is like, but my God, the 36 hours that I just spent with the worst flu symptoms I've ever had. I mean, it was off. I wanted to die. I was like, oh my God. Now I talked to a doctor friend of mine, Dr. Greg, back in Chicago. I talked to him and I asked him all this stuff because people were saying, you should go get a corona test. And I'm like, well, but I just got the vaccine for the booster and you're supposed to have 48 hours to 72 hours of sometimes you have sick, for that amount of time. So I talked to him, and he's like, and he knows about my allergies. He's like, well, your allergies. And I'm like, oh, they're really bad. And he's like, well, that's what's going on. I go, your allergies are compound. Your body, this is how it was explained to me. My body, my immune system was already fighting a war on one front against my allergies. And then when I got the Rona shot into me, the antibodies or whatever the hell it is that they give you with the vaccine, my body also had to fight the war on two fronts. And so that's why I had this like compound worst possible scenario. I was fighting World War II in my body. I was fighting the Japanese and the Germans. And I'm telling you, I ended up winning, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun. And here's another thing I've decided. I'm done. 3 is enough. I am done. I do not want to take another booster. I am done. I know that they're saying, well, you might have to take a 4th one. I'm going to ride this out, man. I'm telling you, I can't go through. Now, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that if you're not vaccinated, that you don't at least need to get a little something. Your immunity army needs to be bolstered. You need to spend money. The defense budget is very important. You need to reinforce in there. So, but I've done 3 now. I've done 3, and as we learned a couple of weeks ago, I'm like Mr. Still wearing a mask out in public when I'm in a closed space with people. And I'm doing everything that I need to do that's right, but I am done. I can't. I certainly not in the next year. I do not want to get another booster. I hear there's a pill available, and maybe I'll take a pill. By the way, my arm is fine. My arm was killing me. Everybody says, oh, you get the shot and it wrecks your arm. My arm was really sore for those 36 hours, but I'm good. I'm back. All right, so enough of that. That's the reason why we haven't done a show the last couple of days. Jeff Glenn says, can allergies cause a fever? Generally, no. Sometimes, however, allergy symptoms can make you vulnerable to a bacterial or viral infection. And a bacterial or viral infection can lead to a fever, so you can indirectly blame the fever on your allergy. A vaccine is an artificial viral infection. That is Jeff, what are you, a doctor? That is essentially what Dr. Greg told me. He said that the reason that don't blame Moderna and don't blame the 3rd booster, blame it on the fact that you got the 3rd booster while you were in a full-blown allergy attack. That just my body went nuts. Albert says, the pharmacist told me to stick with the one I took before even doing the booster. Well, I didn't have a choice, Albert. I specifically asked the pharmacist at the CVS who was jacking me up with the shot. I said, I'm Team Pfizer. Is this okay? And she's like, well, yeah, some people think that you should mix and match. And I'm like, ugh. Leslie is dreading the booster. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't push you off it. Because I guess, but again, like I said, I was having a very specific to my body reaction to it because, like I said, I was fighting World War II in here. I had multiple wars going on. My immune system was already engaged in a full-on battle with my allergies because of this crazy, stupid weather we're having. Air conditioning is on. Air conditioning is on. The heat was on yesterday, and then the air conditioning came on. It's just crazy. This weather is crazy. I don't know what the temperature is right now. Well, let's see what the temperature is right now. What are they saying the temperature is here in sunny North Dallas? Let's see here. Great. Yeah. Highland Park, Texas right now, 77 degrees on December the 16th. December the 16th, of course, the 350th day of the year. There are 15 days remaining till the end of the year in 9 days now? 9 days until Christmas. I'm not ready for Christmas. Oh, and here comes the flop sweat. So I don't know what the hell this is all about. But anyway, all right, so let's do the regular show. There's a lot to get to. He's going to be joining us here at the 1 o'clock hour, so let me run through as much as we can before then. Let's see. Why is today pretty cool? That's the name for the segment for today anyway. On this day in 1773, the American Revolution, the Boston Tea Party happened. Yeah, that's when it all started. That was the first time Antifa got into the... Nah, I'm kidding. Come on, but seriously, that's really what they were. They were the Antifa of the day. Antifa, members of the Sons of Liberty, disguised as Mohawk Indians, dump hundreds of crates of tea into Boston Harbor as a protest against the Tea Act. We didn't want to pay taxes. We didn't. No taxation without representation. That's what I remember from school. That happened on this day, the Boston Tea Party, 1773. So I don't know how we celebrate that, but hey, good job, Sons of Liberty. Appreciate what you kicked off there. We here now enjoy America, where our tea is free. I don't know. I don't drink tea. Is tea free? Tea should be right. Shouldn't tea be free in America? I mean, think about it. Tea should be free. Also on this day in 1985. Ooh, this is a fun one. Well, not if you're a Castellano. It's not a fun one. But if you're a mob guy like me, like if you love the mob. Now, look, I know quite a bit about the five families. It's the New York wing of organized crime in America. I know quite a bit about the five families. My area of expertise is the Chicago outfit. Starting from Torrio through Capone, all the way into the modern day. Joey the Clown. My favorite guy. My favorite guy is Tony Spelatro. Tony Spelatro is famously portrayed by Joe Pesci in the movie Casino. You know Joe Pesci. The guy who played in Casino, the troublemaker. He was based on that was a very loosely based story on a real story. Casino was. But apparently, as the story goes, Scorsese was threatened that if he did anything that was too close to the real people, that there would be hell to pay. So, he created all these phony characters with very similar names to the actual people involved. But if you want to know why Tony Spelatro is my favorite member of the Chicago outfit, Joe Pesci. Just see Joe Pesci in Casino. Oh, and the death scene in Casino, that's real. That's really how they got Tony Spelatro. Took him out to a cornfield. They met up at a bar, famous bar in Tinley Park, which is my adjacent hometown, right next to where I grew up. This place called Dendrino's. It's on the corner of 183rd and Oak Park Avenue. It is this crazy mafia bar that nobody is ever in, but it's been in business for like 60 years. Nobody goes there. Nobody goes there. Well, some people do. I've been there a couple of times, but whatever. They met Tony Spelatro at this place, and then they basically took him for a ride out to Indiana in a cornfield, beat him with shovels, and then buried him. I think they made him dig his grave first, and then they beat him to death with the shovels. Tony and his brother, Tony Spelatro and his brother. Anyway, on this day in 85, Paulie Castellano, the leader of the Gambino crime family, was shot and killed getting into his car out in front of Sparks Steakhouse in New York City. John Gotti, who would then assume power over the Gambino crime family, was sitting in a car across the street observing. He was sort of the watch over guy. He ordered the killing of crime boss Paul Castellano. And he was there, although he wasn't the trigger man. A couple of movies have made it out that he's the trigger man. He wasn't the trigger man. He was just the guy who ordered it and the guy who was there. So on this day, Paul Castellano, Big Paulie, was killed out in front of Sparks Steakhouse in 1985, transferring power of the Gambino crime family over to John Gotti, the legendary John Gotti. Birthdays on this day, 1961, in my opinion. The number one stand-up comedian of all time was born. That's Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks was born on this day in 1961, died of cancer in 1994, died way too young. Would have killed to have heard Bill Hicks take on modern America today, but unfortunately, cancer doesn't wait for nobody. Cancer took him at a very young age. 1994, Bill Hicks died, born on this day in 1961. Also born on this day in 1962, still alive, although from what I understand, wildly unhealthy, William the Refrigerator Perry. That's right. William the Refrigerator Perry was born on this day, famous for the 85 Bears. A hero of mine when I was a little kid. I had the big 32-ounce plastic cup from White Hen, which was a Chicago area version of 7-Eleven, from the White Hen with Fridge on the cover, loved on the label, loved Fridge, kept that cup for years. Fridge, born on this day in 1962, William Perry. All right, let's see why today is, what are we celebrating today? What is today the national day of? Let's check this out, shall we? It's always something stupid. So let's see what today's stupid day of commemoration is. Okay, so today is, this is a weak one. Sometimes there's like 5 or 6 of these. Today there's only the one. Or no, there's 2 here. I'm sorry. It's National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. Chocolate covered anything? Chocolate covered ants? chocolate covered bugs. No, thank you. But it's National Chocolate Covered Anything. So whatever you have today, put some chocolate on it and you'll be celebrating appropriately. It's also Barbie and Barney Backlash Day. No idea what Barney and Barbie Backlash Day. Let's see what this is about. This one's piqued my interest. Let's see here. On December 16th, Barbie and Barney Backlash Day allows parents to take a vacation from all the repetitive sing-alongs and storytelling. Well, Barbie and I don't care. Do you care? It's stupid. It's just stupid. I can't even believe that made the list. All right, let's get into all of the things that are trending today. Let's see what's happening. Oh, no. We have to start with something I love. Yeah, we're going to start here with our moment of joy, right? We do this each and every show just to try and put us in a good mood because, oftentimes there's a lot of shit going on in the world that isn't going to put us in a good mood. So how about this, huh? Look at this. You know what we're looking at here? Let me pause it so I can explain. All right, there's a bunch of firemen in Peru that are dressed as Santa and handing out presents to COVID kids that are isolating in the hospital. And they got to be all alone over Christmas. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Look at me getting emotional. It's got to be the sick. It's got to be the sick. So here we go. Let's watch this. Bunch of cool ass firemen doing a nice thing. Not getting too close. Those kids reach out. There you go. Get up those fist bumps. Those kids don't look like ice. All right, isn't that nice? Yes, that's very nice. Let's hear it for the firemen in Peru. Ugh, like I said, man, after what I went through, full-blown COVID if what I got was like the starter kit for COVID, man, oh man, I do not want the COVID. No, thank you, folks. All right, I wanted to bring back a little something here that we used to do on the old Pugs and Kelly show. It's called Douche of the Day, and it also has somebody that's trending, so let's get into this. A couple months ago, I think it was, we talked about this guy, Jackson Mahomes. You remember Jackson Mahomes? You know what? I actually don't need to do that. Let me just do it this way. I apologize. Like I said, I've been apologizing a lot lately. You know, when I go back and I hate watch the show, I do that after every show. I like to watch what I just got into. I hate watch myself because I can't believe what a fraud I am and all that good stuff. Anyway, I apologize way too much. I need to stop. I keep saying, why are you apologizing? Stop apologizing. I'm sorry for apologizing so much. See what I did there? I'm a mess. All right, Jackson Mahomes is trending. Jackson Mahomes is the asshole little brother of Patrick Mahomes. He's a TikTok star because apparently that's a thing now. And he got in trouble a couple of months ago. Trouble. What is trouble these days? It seems like you can do anything and not really get in trouble. He got dragged. They attempted to cancel him, although it didn't work. He used the Sean Taylor memorial moment for the Washington football team. Sean Taylor, the safety who got murdered in his home when some people broke in and shot and killed him. So the Washington football team retired his number and did this whole Sean Taylor Day. And a couple of months back, Jackson Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes' asshole little brother, he decided to make a TikTok video of him dancing on the Sean Taylor memorial that was on the field. It was roped off and chained off so nobody could go in there. You know, it was like, like a VIP section. And he stepped over the fencing and did a little TikTok dance video. And people were like, what an asshole. What a douchebag. Well, he's trending again today because guess what? He did our asshole thing. Yeah, Jackson Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes seems like such a nice, decent guy. His little brother is such a douchebag. So here's what he did this time. He went to some bar in Kansas City. He's not from Kansas City, but his brother is there. So I guess he's living there and, sort of drift off his coattails a little while longer. He went to a bar in Kansas City with a huge party of people, and they couldn't seat him. They couldn't seat him and his party. And boy, you don't tell Patrick Mahomes' little brother that. So he goes on TikTok and he starts to drag the hell out of this little bar in Kansas City, talking all kinds of crap about it. And so what ended up happening was the bar had a response for him. The bar decided to go to war with Jackson Mahomes, and they wrote an absolutely fantastic note. It's gone viral. The newspapers around the country has picked it up, and that's why Jackson Mahomes is trending today. So you want to hear it? Okay, so I'll read what the bar had to say in response to Jackson Mahomes basically just shitting all over the bar because they wouldn't on the last minute seat him and his giant party of douche tards. Here's what the bar said. Dear Jackson Mahomes, we are sorry that we set boundaries that you tried to ignore. Oftentimes, people with unearned status and a sense of entitlement think they are above the rules and will lash out at the employees enforcing them. We are sorry we could not seat your very large group. As you probably saw, our bar is pretty small. We are sorry that you have the reach that you do, or at least that you think you do, and that instead of using it for something positive, you decided to use it to try and crush a small business. We survived a global pandemic. We'll survive your ego. We are sorry you didn't reach out to us first before taking to social media. But then again, that is an expectation we would have from a mature and rational person, not someone who pours water on fans and dances on the memorials of tragically lost people for TikTok clout. We have not been fortunate enough to be born into a much more talented and much more famous family, but we would like to think that if we did have that much luck, we would use our influence in more responsible ways. We hope our apology finds you well. How fantastic is that? That's a D, Jackson Mahomes. You are unearned celebrity. I love it. So there you go. That is today's douche of the day, which is something I think we're going to bring back here on this show. I mean, why not? I don't think Kelly'd have a problem with it. All right, so he's trending. That's why we now see that Jackson Mahomes is trending. All right, very good. We can get rid of that. Let's see what else is going on in the world today. Like I said, sorry, folks. I'm manufacturing a lot of energy here because I'm still not completely. Kyle Rittenhouse is trending. Now, this is kind of a funny reason. I'm telling you. Why is Kyle Rittenhouse trending? Well, it could be trending for any number of reasons, Pugs. He's a newsmaker. Kyle Rittenhouse is trending today because QAnon, everybody's favorite QAnon. QAnon is now claiming that Kyle Rittenhouse is a deep state agent. That's right. They're saying that this kid is apparently a trained CIA operative, and everything that he's been involved in has been to destroy the far right and the QAnon message and all that stuff. So here, let's see what they have to say about him. It's been almost a month since Rittenhouse, who transported a firearm. Okay, this is very one-sided. Let's just get to what the... one could be forgiven for assuming he is currently basking in the limelight shown on him from within the virulently anti-BLM crowd, but it turns out that couldn't be further from the case for some very petty reasons. And petty reasons are sometimes all it takes to get roped into the larger paranoia web of deep state actors and Trump foes for Q believers. Basically all this has to do is it says that because he betrayed Kyle Rittenhouse's original attorney was that Linwood character, that wackadoo who's like just so nutty and has leaned in hard to the QAnon thing and almost become like a QAnon god. He distanced himself from Linwood and now says that Linwood was purposely using his incarceration and refusing to get him bail and all that stuff, for his own petty reasons. But Rittenhouse also talking about Linwood here. Rittenhouse bluntly added, he's insane, how he thinks he's God and how he just says all these weird things like we're going to keep that boy in jail because there's not going to be any civil or criminal cases come the election, which is just complete insanity. Naturally, conspiracy theorists buying into Linwood's ramblings consider these statements as an ultimate betrayal of their cause. Yeah, and then it goes on to talk about how much money Kyle Rittenhouse is making. He has $100,000 per speaking engagement, and he's got like dozens of speaking engagements lined up. And QAnon doesn't like that because apparently QAnon would like him to come and speak at their thing, but they ain't going to pay him $100,000 to do it. So because he refused their offer, now suddenly he's a deep state agent. So there you go. And you can have your thoughts on whatever you want on that, but that's what's going on. There is a war going on between the wackadoos. They're not liking what Kyle Rittenhouse is doing. He's cashing in big. And I said that the minute he was acquitted, I said, well, that kid's about to make a lot of money. That kid, I said he could do a podcast. Jesus, not a podcast. This kid's much bigger than a podcast. Although, to be honest, if you are big in podcasts, there really isn't anything bigger. I mean, look at Joe Rogan. He's one of the most influential people on the planet, in America at this point. And he's just a podcast guy. So, let's not knock podcasts anymore. I'm old enough of a radio veteran to remember when we used to speak of podcasting derisively. Like, oh, he lost his gig. Now he's going to go do a podcast. Yeah, who's laughing now? Podcast people make tons more. Successful podcast people make tons more than successful radio people do. So the world changes. This is a fun one. Applebee's and Cheesecake Factory both are trending today. Hold on, I got to turn this. I'm getting a bit of a glare on the old TV screen. There we go. Computer screen, TV screen. Is TV screen even something that's used these days? Let's see here. Applebee's is trending and Cheesecake Factory. Why? Well, I can show you. Because in New York City, let's see if we can do this. Here we go. New York City, they're really heavy duty into the whole, you're either vaxxed or you got to wear a mask or you can't come into this restaurant and blah, blah, blah. So today, this went down at an Applebee's, and this is making big news because, who doesn't want to defend Applebee's? Which is, I've been to, I think, Applebee's once. Look, not that I'm elitist. It's just I didn't grow up in, Bufu, Egypt. There were other restaurant choices for me. That's just the thing. Here you go. All right, so this happened at Applebee's.
Fucking pigs! If you hold the line. Now I see what BLM was talking about, you guys, calling you guys pigs.
We stood up for you guys.
Last year, how many people called me a coon because I was supporting y'all, protesting for y'all, getting into arguments, and now you guys are gonna arrest me. I lost my job, the school system over this bullshit. Now I see what BLM was talking about. A bunch of fucking pigs.
If you hold the line.
A bunch of fucking pigs. Now I see what BLM was talking about.
You must get comfortable getting uncomfortable.
Hold the line.
All right, there you go. Hold the line. So these people are just showing up at restaurants in New York. Today it's Applebee's. Yesterday was Cheesecake Factory. And, they're holding the line because they refuse to wear a mask, even though, taking it out on the restaurant, even though the restaurant's just, you got a problem, go take it to City Hall. Don't take it to people who are just abiding by the law. The people at Applebee's may not even agree with the law, but, it is what it is. You got to follow the law. Otherwise, you're an a-hole. All right, so here we go. Here's another one now. This happened yesterday. This one was at a Cheesecake Factory in New York. Cheesecake Factory. I could talk for an hour on Cheesecake Factory. Here you go. All right, so we'll get into this. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Here's my take on Cheesecake Factory. They have a menu like a phone book, and you think everything is going to be delicious. But nothing is. Nothing is. It is the most elaborate and amazing menu. First of all, nobody can make that many things good. And so it seems to me the Cheesecake Factory has decided that they're not going to make anything good. They're just going to make the menu look delicious. And then you're going to get it and you're going to be like, okay, this is edible. And that's all Cheesecake Factory is. It's a jacked up price version of an Applebee's. So this happened yesterday. Let's see if is it sharing. I don't have anybody here to tell me. You know how I like to have people share. Okay, this is what happened yesterday in New York at a Cheesecake Factory, and why Cheesecake Factory is also trending with Applebee's.
Like even before the mandate. Even
that's
before
not
the mandate.
That's not true.
We're getting off topic.
That's
we're
not
just,
true.
We're here to just tell you. We're not doing anything right now. We're telling you guys, the manager has now asked you to leave, right? So now that's what.
Although now that I look at this, that looks like a Cheesecake Factory. That doesn't look like an Applebee's, but this is trending. Whatever. Either it's happening at Applebee's and Cheesecake Factory.
We have to speak to someone.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm scattered because of the sick. This is the Cheesecake Factory. The one before this was the Applebee's.
Charge because you guys can go talk amongst yourselves. They're asking you to leave. And if you guys
They actually said they weren't going to serve. They didn't access to.
That's their decision. If you guys refuse to leave, we're going to give you, every opportunity to leave. But if you eventually refuse to leave when we tell you to leave, we will be arresting you for criminal trespass.
It's not criminal trespass. We're here to access the business during normal business hours. We are invitees of a public accommodating business. We are not committing a crime. We are here to eat. We're here to access the business. It cannot be criminal trespass. I'm telling you, I gotta let you know, because if you falsely arrest any of us, you will be held liable.
I'm just telling you.
Don't say sir. Listen to what I'm telling you.
We're not asking you to leave.
I'm listening. I'm trying to get you to understand what I'm trying to tell you.
I have not told you to leave, right? We have not told you to leave.
Right, but
I'm telling
we cannot be arrested for trespassing. We are not trespassing.
If we tell you to leave and you refuse to leave, I'm telling you that we're going to start arresting people for criminal trespass.
But it's not trespassing. It will be a false arrest.
When you say that, one person, you guys, you over here told us you were representing us right now. I'm talking to them for now. So please, that's all we have to tell you. You guys decide what you want to do, all right?
But you are aware of what criminal trespassing.
Can I just say, my OCD was driving me nuts there when the cop's mask slipped below his nose. I was like, that cop needs to pull the mask up. Please pull the mask. And then he did.
Actually is. And
you
we are
will
not
be
criminally
arrested for criminal trespass if you
We're here during normal business hours to
leave.
access the business and the services.
Okay, that's
You
it.
cannot be
I'm
trespassing.
done explaining it.
Okay, good. So
You
am
don't
I.
leave when we ask you. We have not asked you to leave. The manager has asked you to leave.
But also, you are law enforcement. The law dictates we have the right to be
Manager has to leave.
here. You're not policy enforcement.
You're supposed to leave.
You're going to enforce their policy over the law?
Yeah.
Will you enforce their policy
You guys
over
have
the
a
law?
choice to make now, so please
Well, you
figure out
do
what
too.
you're doing, okay?
You swore oath
Yeah.
to
So you guys figure out what you're gonna do,
So
okay?
you're law enforcement, not policy enforcement. You have to enforce the law, not the policy.
Okay, all right. No. Listen, now we're.
All right, well, there you go. I don't understand why these white people just don't comply. I don't get it. When a police officer asks you to do something, why don't you just comply? What is the problem there? That mask was driving me nuts, folks. I swear to God. That mask kept sliding off his nose. I'm like, fix the mask. Not that I'm like a Nazi about the whole mask thing, just OCD. It was like, please fix the mask. It's bothering me. Let's see. What else do we have trending? So that's why you can see the Applebee's and Cheesecake Factories, because that apparently is the place where people are causing issues. In New York City. That's all happening in New York City. All right. Man, I'm telling you, this one I don't like. I don't like this one. But, we do what we got to do. America's favorite dad? I think so. Jeff Garland is trending. Jeff Garland. Jeff Garland, dad on the Goldbergs. Plays Larry's agent, Jeff, on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Just otherwise seems like just a great, big, gregarious, larger-than-life kind of guy. You're fired! He's gone from the Goldbergs. He's gone. He's off. Jeff Garland. See you later, Dad. On a very special Goldbergs. They're going to have to deal with him. They're going to run on the Goldbergs because, quite honestly, he's the best part of the Goldbergs for me. I haven't watched the Goldbergs in a number of years, so I honestly don't know what his role is on the show anymore. I mean, I know he's the dad, but I don't know if it's as big as it was early. But he's gone. Jeff Garland has left the long-running ABC sitcom The Goldbergs amid allegations of on-set misconduct and an ongoing HR investigation. This, according to Variety. Now, a little personal history with Jeff Garland. Jeff Garland is a beloved Chicago actor and comedian. He spent a lot of years on the local scene there. And although I've never met him, I've met him, as the story will show you, but I didn't know I met him. Like I didn't realize who it was that I was meeting. I was at a Christmas party once with him back in the mid '90s. A friend of mine, a guy whose radio show I hosted, had a Christmas party, and I was there, and he was there, but he wasn't Jeff Garland yet. He was just a local actor and local funny man and all this stuff. And I have been told that I sat and we talked, not just me and him, but like a group of people, like, and he was in that group of people. And I think back on it and I go, oh yeah, that big, loud, funny guy, that was Jeff Garland. That is Jeff from Curb Your Enthusiasm, or the dad from the Goldbergs. So, I mean, I didn't know that I liked that guy that I met at that party, but he was just a regular struggling youngish actor at the time, although he was older than me. But I remember him being funny, and I remember him being loud, and I'm like, wow, that guy's got something. That guy's a hoot. I thought he was fun. So what's happening with him? It was reportedly a mutual decision between Garland and the Goldbergs for him to leave the show. It's mutual. Hold on. I gotta do something. I guess I can't. My glasses are fogging up from this flop sweat that I'm enduring at the moment. I told you, I'm a little bit weak still from the sick. I mean, I feel 100 times better than I did a couple of days ago, but still a little bit weird, a little bit weak. I'm a long hauler. I'm a Moderna vaccine booster shot long hauler. So it was a mutual decision why Jeff Garland is leaving the Goldbergs. His departure is effective immediately. It was mutual. We're all on good terms, but get the hell out. The Goldbergs will have to finish filming its 9th season without him. It is unclear how the show will handle the departure of the actor who played the patriarch of the show's titular family. Now here, we get into some details here. So it's not like he's Harvey Weinstein or anything like that. I mean, people are getting jettisoned for all kinds of crazy, weird reasons. Hold on. Thought I almost had. Jennifer Blair Martin points out, oddly enough, that the Curb episode where everyone thought Jeff was Harvey Weinstein was the best. Yeah, he does. He has a big Harvey Weinstein vibe about him. But no, this is not why he's getting fired. He's getting sort of why he's getting fired. He didn't force anybody to have sex with him. He didn't. This is like, I'll tell you what happened. A rep for ABC confirmed Garland's departure to Rolling Stone and declined to comment further. A representative for Sony Pictures Television, which produces the show, also declined to comment. A representative for Garland did not immediately return a request for comment. No formal allegations against Garland have been made public, though rumors about his workplace conduct have been swirling for some time, and 3 former Goldberg employees recently told Vanity Fair that the actor allegedly engaged in a verbal and physical conduct that made people uncomfortable. Garland spoke with Vanity Fair for that piece too, and in it he denied rumors at the time that he'd been fired, but confirmed that he'd been under an HR investigation for 3 years. Garland specifically addressed one alleged incident with a stand-in. So his stand-in, a stand-in is a person when they're not filming, but they need to set the cameras and the lights and everything. So they get somebody who sort of looks like you and is shaped like you, and they have to stand there and be you while you sit in your trailer and, do whatever famous actors do in their trailer during downtime. Let's see. Garland denied things. Garland specifically addressed one alleged incident with a stand-in that was reportedly both physical and verbal. Garland denied things got physical and instead insisted the issue was a joke that was completely missed. Garland added that he'd worked with the stand-in before and apologized afterwards. So this isn't sexual. This particular charge isn't sexual as much as I guess he was just mean. I guess he was mean to a stand-in. Garland added that the issue was a difference of opinion between himself and Sony. My opinion is, Garland says, I have my process about how I'm funny in terms of the scene and what I have to do in it, he said. They feel that it makes for a, quote, unsafe workplace. Now, mind you, my silliness making an unsafe workplace, I don't understand how that is. And I'm on a comedy show. I am always a kind and thoughtful person. I make mistakes, sure, but my comedy is about easing people's pain. Why would I ever want to cause pain in anybody for a laugh? That's bullying, and that's just uncalled for. All right, so this instance being attributed to why he's leaving the show is because apparently he bullied his stand-in. Apparently, I recoil a little bit when he says, why would I ever want to cause pain in anybody for a laugh? That's bullying. Now, I remember him being a pretty nice guy. I remember him being, pretty gregarious, pretty fun, life of the party type. But I've also known a lot of very funny people who could be really mean. Really mean. Like, I have seen some of America's most beloved comedians in backstage moments where they were just dicks to people, where it's almost like, you have to go on stage and you have to be the world's most wonderful guy that everybody loves. And then the opposite of that is just like a venting process where you're a dick. Or you're just, so, I don't buy the whole, why would I ever want to cause pain in anybody? Well, because you're a comedian, and comedians are kind of suspect. Additionally, in the interview, Garland was confronted with allegations that he made people uncomfortable by hugging them. He says, if I hug someone and they feel uncomfortable from it, they have every right to go to HR, Garland said. But HR has never said a word to me about hugs, just so we're clear on that. Now, hugging for a certain generation is a normal thing. You can't hug anymore. You can't hug people anymore. I guess it's weird now, and that's fine. Again, I'm just an old guy trying to adapt to the world that's presented before me, and I recognize fully that the world has changed, and the people who are creating the current climate in the world are much younger than me, and they have different life, blah, 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 blah. Pugs, you say this all the time. I do. I was never a hugger anyway, but I do know people that were huggers. People used to want to hug me all the time. Like, there's a lot of like big, warm, gregarious people from a different era who, when I'd see them, they'd be like, come on, bring it in here. And then we'd do a big hug. And I'm talking about guys. I'm talking about men. So, it was never really even remotely sexual, at least not in my part. Now, if I was a hot, sexy woman, maybe I would feel different about it. But for me, I recognize that there is a whole generation of man out there and woman out there who, hugging was just a way for them to be warm and to make you feel comfortable. And apparently today it's the direct opposite. It's a way to be creepy and make people feel decidedly uncomfortable. And honestly, I think Jeff Garland might be one of those big, warm guys. Come on, bring it in, buddy. How are you? Like that. Can't do that anymore. That's not a thing that this new generation cottons to. So we got to stop with that. I'm fine. I'm fine with the fist bump. What's up, man? Boom. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. I was never a hugger anyway. But that's because of my own issues. That's funny too, because I've had all of these like uptight issues about those kinds of things all my life. And I felt that it meant I was broken. But now look at me. I'm ready for the new generation. Come at me. We're doing this. Fist bumping now. I don't hug you anyway. Honestly, I'm afraid I might smell. You're going to have this whole impression of me. I don't want to do that. Additionally, in the interview, he made people uncomfortable by hugging them. HR has been aware of the hug situation, but they never said anything to him, and it was never an issue. He says, just so we're clear on that. He was also asked about a text he allegedly sent to a Goldbergs colleague suggesting they come to the next table read without wearing a lot of clothes. Garland said he didn't remember sending the text and added, I'd like to see the text and who I sent it to. But everything that I write like that is about joking. I am respectful of women and women's bodies, and I don't make jokes about that because I don't find it funny. Jeff Garland, he's gone. See you later, buddy. He's off the Goldbergs. It's another one of those situations where I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. They're going to kill him off though. It's going to be a very special Very, very special episode of and because they can't film it because he's gone immediately, it's just going to be an episode where they find out he's dead. Like he's going to die at work or something. I'll tune in for that. I haven't seen the Goldbergs in like 3 years or so, but I'll tune in for that. I'll watch. I'll try and figure out. I'll try and see if I can comprehend whether or not they're doing them right. Because remember, it was mutual, just like every breakup I've ever had. So I said publicly, it was mutual. Sure they were. Sure. Also trending today, Urban Meyer. He's trending. Well, like we didn't see this coming, huh? Although I'll tell you, man, if you had your bet in Vegas that Nat Nagy of the Chicago Bears was going to be the first guy fired, you lost because Urban Meyer. They had enough with Urban. They had it with him. He came in a ball of fire, drafted Trevor Lawrence. The greatest football mind this side of Saban and Belichick is coming to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's got the number one quarterback. He's going to turn him into a Super Bowl contender instantly. And then he hires a racist strength and conditioning coach. Okay, so that was the first mistake. He did that like first things first. He went and hired some coach who'd been fired from 2 other programs in college for being a racist. He thought he could get away with that, and that was a no-go. Then he had the whole thing with Cayman, Nebraska, remember, at Urban Meyer's Tap House in Columbus. His team, the Jaguars, had played on a Thursday night and they got blown out, and he didn't even fly home with the team. He just decided to stay in Columbus and troll. That was his old hunting grounds when he was the Ohio State coach there. And he went and started hanging out at his bar, left his wife at home with the grandkids. Because remember, he said, I'm not flying home with the team because I'm going to spend time with the grandkids. But instead he went to his bar and he was caught on videotape getting grinded on by some smoke show college student. Or actually, I think she was not a college student. I think she was older, but it didn't look good. And that came out, and that was a whole big thing. And then he had to apologize to the team, and he did a real shit job of that. And then he came out and he apologized, and he did a real shit job of that. And the owner of the team, he basically said, okay, well, he's embarrassed us, and, we're just going to see how this plays out, blah, blah, blah. Then a couple weeks ago, it was revealed that he's just brutal to his coaching staff and brutal to his players. He calls all his players and his coaches losers while referring to himself as a winner and saying that as a winner, he can't be around you, loser, all kinds of really incredibly arrogant, awful shit. So that came out a couple of weeks ago. And then yesterday, his former kicker, I don't even know the guy's name, Josh Lambo. Yeah, Josh Lambo is his name. His former kicker, who he cut, came out with a story in some Florida newspaper about how the kicker was warming out. Well, here, I'll read it to you. We'll do this whole story. Josh Lambo is his name. I don't even know who this guy is. But here's what Lambo says about his situation there with Urban Meyer. All right. He says, before a game, this is in pregame, I'm in a lunge position, left leg forward, right leg back, Lambo said. Urban Meyer, while I'm in that stretch position, comes up to me and says, hey, dipshit, make your fucking kicks, and then kicks me in the leg. Hey, dipshit. His kicker. He walks up to his kicker and kicks him in the leg. Hard, apparently. Lambo spoke for the first time publicly about what he said happened to him in an interview with the Tampa Bay Times. It certainly wasn't as hard as he could have done it, but it certainly wasn't a love tap either, Lambo said. Truthfully, I'd register it as a 5 out of a 1 to 10 scale, which in the workplace, I don't care if it's football or not. The boss can't strike an employee. And for a second, I couldn't believe it actually happened. Pardon my vulgarity, I said. Don't you ever effing kick me again. And Urban's response was, I'm the head ball coach. I'll kick you whenever the fuck I want. Okay, so that story comes out yesterday. And then last evening, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars says, nope, you're gone, son. So Urban Meyer is gone as head. Look, he's building all year. It's been building for a while. This guy's a train wreck. It's been nothing but bad stuff. And quite frankly, he's got 3 wins. So they're like, we don't need any of this garbage out of you anymore. You need to go, son. So what's he going to do now? I don't know. I'm just glad that he had a clause in his contract that said that he could walk out of Jacksonville if the Notre Dame coaching position ever came open. And the Notre Dame coaching position came open a couple of weeks back when Brian Kelly went to LSU. And as a diehard Notre Dame fan, I was like, oh God, oh no, here we go. Oh, I don't need this. I don't. So Notre Dame, to their credit, they just immediately hired Marcus Freeman, who was their defensive coordinator, and elevated him to head coach. So I'm like, okay, good. So I don't have to worry about that. But I don't know. Maybe your favorite college football team is about to be infected by Urban Meyer. Although I don't imagine he's going to be a real solid hire. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Kenny's saying, glad you feel better, Pugs. Me too. I don't feel great, but I do feel better. I don't have a fever or anything like that. My energy is good, although, as I say, the energy is pretty much manufactured here. All right, what else? Oh, and other football coach news. I know, folks, we're going to get into a little bit of a football coach thing here, but trust me, it's not going to be overly football for you folks who hate this stuff. Jimmy Johnson is trending today. Jimmy Johnson is trending because I don't know. People are saying that he kind of took a shit on Dak. He was on the Herd with Colin Cowherd, who I enjoy. I enjoy Colin Cowherd. I really enjoyed his co-host Joy Taylor, who is Jason Taylor's sister. Jason Taylor, the legendary Miami Dolphin. Man, she is a woman. She is about as my speed. She's got the she's smart. She's quick-witted. She's just so beautiful. But for that reason, I watched Colin Cowherd, and Jimmy Johnson was on, and let's listen to the conversation. You tell me if you think he's taking a shit on Dak Prescott. I don't know. Here we go.
2 times I've really liked Dallas. His rookie year, they were led by Zeke, and this year, they're led by their defensive front. I said, the problem for Dak is the expectations are here, and the reality of the player is here. And I don't think he's an artistic arm thrower. He's mobile, but not hyper athletic. He looks like he's a little dinged up to me right now. But I think in most instances, like in Minnesota, you kind of know what Kirk Cousins is, and the expectations don't get out of whack. I feel sometimes in Dallas we're expecting this, and Dak's probably that. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think in Dallas the expectations are here, regardless who the quarterback is. But because they just have so much visibility and they pump it up pretty good. As far as Dak, I think that his strength, his number one strength, is he is a great leader for that football team. And what's happened with Dak, he can win you a championship if you got really good players around him. And they've had some injuries with the running game. They're not running the football as well as they did, a year ago or before Dak got injured. And when they're running the football, those play action passes, Dak is really good. A little play action, 1, 2, throw it and get rid of it.
Yep.
But when he's got to drop back and start reading the whole field and make decisions about where he's throwing the football. And the defense, they're not slowing down for the run because the running game has been injured. The defense, they're rushing the passer. They're putting pressure on him to make a decision right away. He's not near as good. So he can win you a championship, but you better get the running game back.
All right. So I don't know if I necessarily feel like that is Jimmy Johnson taking the dump on Dak Prescott. I don't know. I necessarily disagree with that. Even I love Dak Prescott. I mean, I'd love him to be the quarterback on my team because of what they just said there is in the pros column about him being a terrific leader. I don't know if he's a limited athlete. He seems like a pretty good athlete to me, but that's why Jimmy Johnson is trending right now because people are saying, he took a big dump there on his Dallas Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott. I don't know. Could just be people trying to make something out of nothing. Sounded like he was. Wait, is he supposed to be just in the tank for the Cowboys at all times? I don't think that's fair. I don't think let me tell you about Jimmy Johnson. This would be a good opportunity for me to tell you about the time I made Jimmy Johnson cry. Made him cry. I did. I made him cry. Jimmy Johnson was a guy that I never particularly liked. I always thought he was a little bit, I had some preconceived notions of what Jimmy Johnson was. And then my partner Kelly and I had an opportunity to interview him we were told we got 10 minutes with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson spent the better part of an hour with us. And when they tell you, when the PR people say he's only got 10 minutes, he's on a tight schedule, he's going to talk to a lot of people today, so please don't go over. The 10 minutes was up, the 10 minutes became 15, and the PR person started to, hover around him like they were about to jump in and say, oh, we need to wrap this up. And Jimmy basically shut him down. Jimmy was actually having a really good time. Oh, let's bring in E. Here we go, 1:00. So nice to have him here. I'll finish the story. Hey, E, we're talking about why Jimmy Johnson is trending today. Are you familiar with what's going on with Jimmy?
No.
He's trending because he went on Colin Cowherd's show, and basically Colin Cowherd was talking about the limitations of Dak Prescott and how he's, basically it's this. The belief in Dak Prescott is up here, but the reality of Dak Prescott is down here. And he asked Jimmy Johnson for his take on that. And Jimmy basically echoed it. So a lot of people are saying, why is Jimmy shitting on Dak Prescott? Why is it? And he wasn't shitting on Dak Prescott. He was just kind of talking about the limitations that he sees in him. And that, the Cowboys are only as good as their running game. That if the running game gets back to being what the running game was in Dak's rookie year, then this team can go win a Super Bowl. But as long as the defenses, who are also making big dollar checks, who are also trying and playing really hard, as long as the defense knows that it's dependent on Dak dropping back and throwing, Dak's not as, effective without that. And I think that's I think that could be said about just about any quarterback in the league. If you're a one-dimensional quarterback, good defenses are going to be able to shut you down because they're going to know exactly what you're doing. So that's why Jimmy's trending. But I was just telling the story about the time I made Jimmy Johnson cry. Want to hear it? Okay, good. We were out at Texas Motor Speedway. And as I was saying, we had 10 minutes with him. He spent the better part of an hour and with us. And he made his PR people back off when his PR people were trying to get us to wrap up the interview because he was seemingly enjoying the interview because we weren't talking to him about football. We were talking to him about, what it's like being Jimmy Johnson and, where he came from. And boy, one thing Jimmy Johnson may not like to talk endlessly about football or about his past football thing, but you want to talk to Jimmy Johnson about what it's like being Jimmy Johnson, hanging out on a boat and fishing. He'll go on forever. And he was telling us stories, and it got into the point where, he started reminiscing about growing up down there on the coast, the Gulf of Mexico down there, and wherever it was, Corpus Christi, I think it is, where he was born and raised. And that's where his affinity for, boats and living on the ocean and all that came from. And I just, as an aside, I said, hometown of Janis Joplin. And Jimmy Johnson, his eyes lit up because Jimmy Johnson knew Janis Joplin when she was not Janis Joplin, the rock and roll icon, but Janis Joplin, the girl from small town, back then. And Jimmy Johnson went into this story, and I swear to God, I made Jimmy Johnson cry. He went into this story about Janis Joplin as a teenager and how everybody in that town was so incredibly cruel to her, and about how he, as a child, was cruel to her, and about how she just didn't fit in with the sort of values and ideologies that were present in small town Texas at the time, and how she was, Janis Joplin has talked about it herself. She couldn't get out of there fast enough. That's why she ran off to San Francisco as soon as she could. But Jimmy Johnson, the human being, literally broke down and started tearing up when he was talking about how much he regretted the way, he did the whole kids can be so cruel and kids can be so mean and that girl didn't deserve it. And how come nobody recognized, what a wonderful, talented person we had. We should have embraced her. We should have celebrated her, but instead we lost her forever because we were closed-minded. That is the moment where I was like, holy cow, Jimmy Johnson isn't just a friggin' meathead football coach. Jimmy Johnson is a human being with depth and with regret and with human compassion. And yeah, that was the moment where I said, oh, okay. So Jimmy Johnson is one of my favorite people now. Because before that, as I said, I had pretty much only thought of him the image of Jimmy Johnson. How about them Cowboys? Like that crazy over-the-top football coach who was probably involved in some shady stuff in Miami. You know what I mean? There was a lot of sort of ook factor on Jimmy Johnson. And then to have him sort of reveal himself to be that vulnerable with a couple of idiot radio hosts who just happened to hit on a subject that he wanted to run with. It was eye-opening. And from that point forward, every time I see Jimmy Johnson, I smile. I go, that's a good dude. That's a guy who you could probably trust.
All right.
Have you ever had any run-ins with him? I know that you have a lot of connected people in this town.
No, I haven't really had any run-ins with him. I know he was quite the blackjack player.
Oh yeah, a gambling man, a fishing man, and
I know that like his coaching career, because he was at Miami and because he was at both Miamis actually after Dallas. They were longer. He preferred those locations because of his affinity for the water.
Yeah, he lives on a boat. I listened to a sports radio show. Well, he has houses. He's a very wealthy man, but he spends most of his time on his boat. I listened to a sports radio show in Chicago that has Dave Wannstedt on every Thursday, and Wani is hysterical. You don't think of Dave Wannstedt as funny, but Wani is very funny, and he's always got these stories. Him and Jimmy Johnson are like best friends. They've been together since the Miami University of Miami coaching days. And Wannstedt, of course, came here to Dallas as his coordinator. And then Wani ended up, I think he succeeded him down there in Miami as head coach of the Dolphins. But man, he tells stories about how all they do when they hang out with Jimmy, and it's a very closed group. You can't just bring friends to hang out with Jimmy because you go and you sit on his boat and they just get trashed. They go out and all they do is drink and talk shit to each other. And the group is the group that he always describes, a couple of names that we don't know, like a Tony Wise, who is an offensive line coach, a retired offensive line coach, Dave Wannstedt, Terry Bradshaw, and Jimmy Johnson. And they just go out and they're in the middle of the water and there are no cameras and there's no nothing. And they are just awful boys, as it's described. They just do nothing but drink and get drunk and argue. It just sounds like a good time. Sounds like it'd be fun to go out on the boat with Jimmy Johnson if you're ever so lucky to be invited.
I need to make sure they take the keys out of the ignition if there's not one sober guy on the boat.
Oh, I'm sure that Jimmy Johnson has all of that wired up nicely. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that Jimmy's got that shore patrol completely in his pocket. I'm not imagining any trouble for Jimmy. And he probably also has a driver. I'm sure there's a boat guy. All right, so we talked a little about Urban Meyer. You got any thoughts on that? We went through his list of missteps this entire season and how
the whole season was a misstep.
The whole season. I know.
You talk about a guy that took 5 years and blew it in less than a year. I don't know. I think if somebody at the college level gets that guy to coach,
can't happen, right? He's got to take at least a year off. It can't happen. He's got to let all this die down. What college is going to hire him and then not just take? And he's not going to.
Parent is going to send their kid to him?
Oh, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
I just would not. There's just been so much that's come out about this guy this last year that he needs to go take a bath.
And it's only this year because he's 3-10. When he was winning championships and when he had the top 5 ranked team in college football, everybody was overlooking. The shit that he did goes all the way back to Aaron Hernandez at Florida. Where he covered up all of these things that Aaron Hernandez did, that he just and he leaned hard into Tim Tebow, who was doing Bible study, while Aaron Hernandez was out murdering people. You saw the Aaron Hernandez documentary, right?
Yeah.
Where he murdered people
I think the
college,
first step is when he hired the strength coach and he was a known racist.
Yeah, that guy, we covered that.
That was the first, I don't know, just, yeah.
Well, he thought
Ding
because
dong, I'm glad he's gone.
He thought because he was Urban Meyer that he was indemnified and he could do whatever he wanted. And it turned out, boy, that is arrogance. Yeah, it was the whole wouldn't fly back with the team because he was going to spend time with the grandkids. And then he ended up in the bar with Cayman, Nebraska instead of with the grandkids. Called all of his coaches and players losers a couple of weeks ago and then said, I'm a winner. I can't be around you losers.
Yeah. By the way, it's Cayman, Nebraska's sister's birthday.
Really? What is Belize, Nebraska? Is it her birthday?
I don't know, but she just said happy birthday, sis, in her
On
Instagram post.
Pictures are, it's not true. What's she look like? Can you click on to, did she link her sister? I don't use Instagram. I need to go check out my Instagram because we're friends.
Yeah, I'm friends with her. Let's see here. There's pictures of her. I can't tell which one is this. When they say sister.
All right. Well, if you can't tell the difference, that's all I need to know. If you can't tell the difference between Cayman, Nebraska and her sister Belize, Nebraska, then all right. What is going on there? Oh, yeah, she's a thirst trap. That's what's going on.
She hit her head on the ceiling.
That's all right. All right, the Nebraska girls. Big round of applause. A couple of Instagram thirst traps. All right, so, and the third here, we talked about a couple of football coaches already, Urban Meyer, Jimmy Johnson. The third one is Sean Payton. Sean Payton, beloved head coach of your New Orleans Saints. I wanted to show this because he's been trending yesterday and he's trending again today. We got to watch this, you guys. So there is a show, a new show. Here, wait, make sure I get this up. There is a new show coming to, oh man, all right. Okay. A new show coming to Netflix, which is about basically what, you remember when Sean Payton got kicked out of the league for a year? Was it Bountygate? Was that what happened with him? I don't remember exactly what it was, but he had to.
Did he get kicked out of the league for a year?
Yeah, he had to sit out for a year. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
I thought it was I thought it was Greg
Williams.
Yeah,
but no, Greg Williams was kicked out of the league forever, I think. I think.
Okay, and Sean Payton because he was the head coach?
Yeah, Sean Payton had to, he was suspended for an entire year by the NFL. And so Netflix has decided that they're going to make a TV show about what Sean Payton did for that year. If you remember, he famously went and coached like some little league kids football team. And so Netflix decided to make a show about it. And is it Sharon? Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. Let's watch this. And then just tell me what you think after you see the show about Sean Payton that's coming to Netflix.
Hey, Coach. Mr. Goodall is on the phone?
Roger Goodell's on the phone. The commissioner.
He didn't say what his job was.
Coach Payton has been suspended for a full year.
Sean, what are you doing here?
Just came to watch my son play football. Played a great game out there.
You lost 0-40.
Can't help it if all your teammates are horrible. He was good too. A couple of good guys.
We're the worst team in the league.
They need some motivation. You're seriously ordering a pizza right now?
Oh yeah, I want stuffed crust. What kind of question is that?
You're only here because you got suspended. Being Sean Payton's son ain't easy. It may be easier on him if you were on that field with us every day.
My butthole!
You do need help.
Coach Payton is going to be our new offensive coordinator.
Our defense sucks too.
That's just fun, man.
Yeah, he doesn't like contact.
You know he's playing football?
I think it'll be good for you guys to connect.
You guys know what Drew Brees does? When everybody else has gone home, Drew stays on the field. See what he could have done better. That's how you become great.
I believe that we will win.
The Warriors did lose, just to be totally clear.
People always ask me about you. I don't know you.
I'm here. I'm here now. You in football country now.
Gentlemen, I've been perfecting my recipe for the ultimate energy bar.
Super log! Super log!
Ain't gonna score, boys. Season's over for you. That's for you, Houston.
How many y'all have long?
Okay.
I think it'd be funny.
Okay, you think it'd be funny? I think it looks like the absolute worst piece of shit that Netflix has ever put on, and I can't believe that Sean Payton is okay with Kevin James playing him, a guy that looks like Sean Payton ate Sean Payton, and two, come on, man, there was probably a real interesting story to be told, but instead they decided to create something for Rob Schneider to do. That looks so embarrassingly bad.
Why? Looks
Because
to
it
me
looks-
like it's a story about the Bad News Bears.
Okay, all right. That's yes. It doesn't look like it's a story about. I cannot imagine that Sean Payton is going to be comfortable with Kevin James, a guy with the acting chops of Kevin James, portraying his very difficult, apparently, relationship with his young son. I mean, it just looks. It looks so atrociously bad. And I see Ed saying gonna be great, and I know he's being facetious. I know
I don't think he
has to be
is.
a joke. Okay.
I think you're just being a little critical.
A little bit of a snob, a little bit of a TV snob. I don't know, man. I just, like I said, I can't imagine I seem to recall you think Ted Lasso was going to suck based on an early trailer. Yeah, very true. That is true. I thought Ted Lasso was a really ridiculous premise, and I saw it. No, okay, you both are ridiculous, and you no longer have any standing with any sort of commentary with me when it comes to TV. Because if you see that trailer and your opinion is that's going to be great, I don't trust anything that you're ever going to watch ever again. I just don't trust it. And Ed, I'm shocked by. Ed, I'm
It's
shocked
just
by
a
because
movie, dude.
No, it's a series. It's a series.
Oh, well, even better.
Oh. Okay. All right. All right. Well, there you have it. That's my run on 3 coaches. We had Urban Meyer trending today, Jimmy Johnson trending today, and Sean Payton trending today. And I can tell you that my reviews, your reviews are the minority as far as what people are saying about that trailer. But, what does that matter? Doesn't matter. All right. So also Springsteen is trending today. Let's run through this. Why is Springsteen trending? Do you know why Springsteen is trending today there, E?
Not a clue.
He just sold his entire catalog of music and whatever, all of the songs, all of the record albums. He sold everything to Sony Music for a record-breaking amount of $500 million. The boss is cashing out. He's like, all right, I am out of here. And it's a record until the next big name guy, sells his catalog.
Seems very born in the USA of him.
Well, it does, doesn't it? I mean, it does. But I was shocked because I went, well, this has got to make Springsteen a billionaire. And I Googled, Bruce Springsteen's net worth, and his net worth is only $100 million, which seems to me that he should make a lot more. But you know what the crazy thing about Springsteen is? Springsteen has like 10 guys in his band, and he splits everything with them. All of the money that like Springsteen has made and all that stuff, you think it's not. That's why his band has stayed with him for 50 years now, because they're all extremely well paid. They are like the best paid backing band in the history of backing bands. And it's Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. So when those albums come out, everybody gets a cut in. Nobody's on salary. Nobody just makes X amount of dollars regardless. Everybody gets a piece of it. So when I saw that Springsteen was only worth $100 million before today, I was like, that's shocking. I would have thought that he would now with this $500 million deal be a billionaire, but he's not. He's just got $5. Now, because he is the writer of all of this stuff, I wonder, does he cut the band? He's, knowing the legends of Springsteen, he's probably going to cut the band in for some of it, but I don't know if he's going to be as generous as he has been over the years. I mean, how $500 million for a music catalog? That's pretty good. Tom Beller, Everybody Born with
It sounds good until you think about that's like a body of work that took him how long?
50 years.
Yeah, I was going to say 40 some, probably close to 50 years.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you've got Conor McGregor, who puts together proper 12,
right?
And gets 500 million in like 4.
Right. Yeah, I know. Well, life isn't fair, and it's not always rewarding the true artists. Sometimes it's just people who luck into shit. Hey, Conor McGregor got hit in the face a lot. Bruce never got hit in the face. So who knows?
Well, but I'm just talking about math, 500 million, one with liquor, one with the catalog of songs that he built for 40 years.
Yeah. I don't know. Aaron Hernandez is trending today. I mentioned him earlier. And why is he trending? Well, because all of the stories about how Urban Meyer covered for him over the years in Florida are now resurfacing, and people are saying it's not that Urban Meyer just turned bad. He was always bad. He was always a piece of crap who was, dubious, at least from a moral standpoint. So that's why Aaron Hernandez is trending. We're not going to go into that. A couple of more things that I want to show you here. Romancing the Stone is trending. Remember the movie, the 1984 movie, Romancing the Stone? Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, Danny DeVito as the third wheel in this. As I remember it, and I liked Romancing the Stone a lot. And I remember as a kid, when Romancing the Stone came out, I see Tom Beller in the chat room. He may even remember these arguments. I actually liked Romancing the Stone. One of my first hot takes, I liked Romancing the Stone more than I liked Raiders of the Lost Ark. And they were both very similar movies. Like Romancing the Stone was kind of a knockoff, of Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I remember saying it was funnier. It was just way funnier. And, there's all kinds of jungle hijinks in both films, but both are exciting action films. But Romancing the Stone was one that I actually thought was funny. Danny DeVito was hysterical in Romancing the Stone. So why is Romancing the Stone trending today? Because no idea is new anymore in Hollywood, and they are remaking Romancing the Stone, and they've done it with a massive budget, and it's called The Lost City, and it is essentially a remake. It's based on the same story, but they're not calling it a remake, but it's the exact same story. And here it is. Let's watch this. This is the new trailer for this new version of... Is this it? Yeah. For this new version of Romancing the Stone. And I'm going to tell you beforehand, before you guys watch it, this movie looks awesome. Here it is.
You led me straight to the Lost City. Now, prepare to die.
There are just hundreds of snakes in this temple just waiting for us to show up.
What? Why aren't they biting that guy?
This is ridiculous. Delete. Delete. Delete.
Listen, Loretta, we need you to promote your new book on the Lost City. You can't spend your life in the bathtub drinking Chardonnay with ice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world's sexiest cover model, Dash McMahon!
You do know you're not Dash, right? Dash is a character I made up. Dash! Oh my god. Oh crap.
Miss Sage, I enjoyed your book about the Lost City, and I believe you're the one who can help me find its treasure.
I have to respectfully decline.
I'm afraid I must insist.
Unchain me!
That's your seatbelt.
Oh no! Loretta Sage is missing.
I'm gonna rescue her. I just want her to think of me as more than a cover model.
Let's start living dangerously. Alan, what are you doing here?
We're here to save you. I'm certified CPR, I'm certified CrossFit. I have snacks.
After them!
This is like your book. We're on a Love More and Dash adventure right now. I'm gonna help you out a little bit.
Let's go. What are you doing? Don't do that. Oh God, get out of there. This is not a romance novel. Jungles eat people like us.
Ah, what is that? Get it off. Please. I can feel him sucking my soul. River like a bandit. Don't make that sound. Feels like there's more.
Holy Mother of God.
They're just sucking on my butt like a big old Jamba Juice.
We're so close. I could actually find the Lost City.
If I don't get to this island, my friend and her cover model are going to die.
I am driving. Oh!
rid of Sage, getting you out of here.
Why are you so handsome?
My dad was the weatherman.
Hey, whoa, she doesn't need saving in there.
Okay.
What are you doing in there?
All right, there you go. A remake of Romancing the Stone starring Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt, and Harry Potter. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The first one was not exactly a big budget Hollywood, mammoth production. This one looks like they're leaning into it hard. Ross says, old Tatum has zero charisma. Yeah, but Brad Pitt does. So Brad Pitt making the surprise appearance in this film as the true life romance hero who saves them. That's trending across all platforms today. Romancing the Stones remake for the 21st century, The Lost City, is coming out in early 2022. Everybody's a buzz. Let's see. What else do we have here? How you feeling over there? How's the house been? I have not been out of this house other than to
Temperature's
run.
hot over here.
Temperature. Oh, you don't have the air on?
Now I'm about to get up and go turn it on. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, whew.
I got the air on, but I've had the heat cranking for 2 days. It's like 80 degrees outside.
I know. It's like the weather's crazy.
Yeah, the weather is crazy, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Minnesota frozen tornadoes. Did you see this last night?
They had like several tornadoes blowing over semis.
Frozen tornadoes. They were tornadoes in December in Minnesota that were throwing icicles at like 100 miles an hour. What the hell, man? There has never been. Well, no, that's not true. The December tornadoes, like, Pugs, you're just being one of these climate guys. No, I'm not. There have been December tornadoes. They're extremely rare, and they never happen that far north. They, when they happen throughout the belt there in the southern Midwest, through places like Arkansas and Missouri and through Kentucky and all of that. They don't typically make their way all the way up towards the Canadian border where the temperatures are already. See, that's the problem, though. The temperatures were like in the 60s. It was unseasonably warm in Minnesota, but the front coming in was frozen. Why? Because it's December in Minnesota. So what you had was this like tornado that was equal parts warm. Well, I don't have to tell you what a tornado is. It's warm air and cool air colliding. But up there last night, these tornadoes, they ripped through first Nebraska, went all the way through Iowa, touched into Illinois, hit some of Wisconsin, but really were freakishly bad in Minnesota, where there's hundreds of thousands of people throughout Iowa and Minnesota who are still without power today. Luckily, there was no huge damage like we saw last week in the big ones that hit 5 states. This one went through 9 states. And there was very little damage that occurred. So, knock on wood, that was good. But the descriptions of frozen Minnesota December tornadoes is something that, that's like from a movie about climate Armageddon. You know what I mean? That's not something that is supposed to happen.
Yeah, no, it's beginning to feel like there's some country that's got this weather machine,
right?
Throwing weird curveballs up this way.
It's like Gru from Despicable Me has perfected his weather machine, and he's unleashing it on America. And again, yes, there have been tornadoes in December, but not like this. Never been a tornado that tracked on the ground for 200 miles like the one we had last Friday that just leveled towns in Kentucky, hit 5 states. And there's never been another tornado outbreak just a couple of days later reaching so far north as Minnesota. Minnesota in December is a winter wonderland. You've been, well, you're from Buffalo. I don't have to tell you. It's not like it is here where I've got the air conditioning on. Minnesota in December is cold.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, what can we do about it? Ain't nothing we can do about it except just.
I keep checking my ski weather app to see how the snow's doing in Vail, and it's not so good.
Yeah, aren't you going? What you got going for Christmas? Aren't you going up there?
Yeah, I'm going to go December the 28th, but my God, like we need to get some snow.
Yeah.
It's like as of today, they had 79 of 274 trails open.
That's
and
not
they
great.
had 14 of 33 lifts open.
Yeah,
So
that
just
doesn't-
imagine it's still going to be the same amount of people because you've already reserved your hotel room and paid for it. If you don't, you don't have one. The only people that may not be going are the really rich people that have got a home up there that'll go, oh, well, we don't have snow. We're going to go to our summer home. But short of that, you're going to have these ski resorts with the same amount of people with half of the hill open. So the lines are just going to be stupid.
Oh, yeah. And are they typically bad anyway that time of year?
Oh, yeah, they're bad. I want to say bad. I mean, there are lines. If the whole hill is open, there are lines everywhere. So just imagine half.
Yeah, well, cry me,
and then you've got
cry me a river, Mr. Going to my
double
mountain retreat.
people going over top of the same spot.
Oh, so sorry the jet set is going to have to wait in line. Maybe there's some VIP.
Well, I'm just hoping we get some snow here in the next 10 days or so.
All right. I hope so. Who knows? We could end up getting a foot of snow here and you won't be able to get off the ground. That's how wacky the weather's been.
Yeah, I got a feeling like once I get up there, it'll just like dump and then I'll be stuck there.
How long are you going to be gone?
I got the dog boarded. I already figured that
No,
out.
why are you getting the dog boarded when I'm here? Why would you do that?
Just because I figured that's a long time for you to have to deal with her. And if I'm on the hill and I see my phone ring, okay, she just ate up the bottom floor of the house.
Come on, man. Don't do that to me. That's my Christmas gift you could give to me. Let me watch the dog. She's my dog niece. You know I love her. She's going to be fine.
I didn't. Well, you were kind of like on the fence if
you
you were going to be here.
Oh, yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, no,
I had to get the reservation in.
Dude, I'm going to be all by myself. You're going to take the dog from me?
Well,
notice how
you just confirmed that you were going to be here. Prior to that, you said you weren't going to be, and so
give them
I
a
had
call
to
today. Tell them
I had
that
to get a reservation.
Okay, tell them to give the reservation to somebody else. Come on, that is an insult to me. Me and the dog, come on. I got nobody on New Year's Eve. You got to let me have the dog.
All right. Well, I don't believe me. You can have the dog.
I do. All
right.
And you don't have to thank me. This is me thanking you. She's my dog niece. I love her.
All right. You're just now back to.
That is true. No, you're right. No, you're right, because there was a chance that I was going to be gone through the first of the year. But yeah, that is. Thanks to Adam, who couldn't guarantee me the hours that I needed. I'm not going to be doing that. But look, if you've already paid, then fine. But
no,
it is
I
my
haven't
pleasure.
paid. I've got a reservation. I can cancel it. They were booked, so I was glad to get the reservation.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, man. I would really love to have it, because I am going to, I don't have my kid because he's got a family thing that he's going on. And, I'll be all alone.
All right. I just won't be quick to respond to your, oh my God, she pulled the house down.
No, she won't. She won't. And she'll be with me. She's fine. She'll be with me. And for how long are you going to be gone? How many days?
She's been with you every time she's tore the house apart. It's not your fault. She just likes to do it.
Well, those are occasions when you're also here. So I don't like her to be with me full time when you're also here.
I see. All right.
The dog dead. But if you're not there, she's not going to be left alone in the house. And I'll probably be laying on the couch in there watching things on
and then she'll tear your house apart.
Well, I'll tell you, there is a smell of urine somewhere in here, and I think she may have peed in here, and I didn't find it, and I don't know where it is, and it's just.
We'll have to call the zero res guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fortunately, I got wood floors, and I've got the dog door, so.
She drives me nuts, but I love her. She's my dog niece. You can't take her away from me over the holidays. That would be like the saddest holiday movie ever made, where I'm just all by myself without me and the dog eating meatballs. I mean, she's, Hey, here's a question about the dog, though. Is there something we can do about her drooling? I can't eat a meal around her without her just slobber drooling all over the floor. It is the most
I wouldn't know
disgusting-
how you would do something about it, and I fix it really good. I just tell her no. She knows when she goes over to Uncle Pugs' house that she's going to have half of his meal.
No, she
You're
doesn't get
just a
half
soft.
of it. But
She gets
guilts
about
me.
a quarter.
She guilts me. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
I
like
just
sits
don't
there,
let her guilt me.
and the whining gets louder and louder, and and then you know what
Doesn't
else?
do it over here because I
You're
I
better.
put my iron fist down on that.
Yeah, you're better. You're a better dog dad. Than
No, I'm not better. You did the
Yeah,
same.
you got
thing
better
with-
rules.
You did the same thing with Frankie before too.
She used to not be allowed on the bed. Now that's over with. Now it's like the first thing she does is she runs out and she stakes out her position even before I put the towel down, because that's one thing I will not abide. She's got a towel area where if she wants to be on the bed, she has to sit on her towel, and she's pretty good about it until recently. You know what else she does that's disgusting that just makes me throw her out of the house every time? Have you ever been around her when she's decided to give herself a bath?
Oh yeah, she licks herself all over. Oh my god.
Oh my
Goes
God.
on for about a half hour.
Oh my God. It is the most disgusting. And I'm only glad that she's not licking that certain part. You know what I mean? It always sounds like she's licking that certain part that only girl dogs have. And it is the most disgusting sound. I have a bad gag reflex, and she will wake me up. She sleeps at night. She doesn't like the bed because I kick her off when I try and sleep. So she sleeps in this little corner of the room, and I'll wake up in the middle of the night with her going,
She's gonna get a bath today. Man, probably tomorrow I'll give her a bath.
you know what? That might be the urine smell. It might be her that smells like urine. She might have peed on herself, because it only smells like that when she's around.
Oh yikes!
So yeah, get her that bath. But other than that, I love my dog niece. I got absolutely no issue with her, and I would be heartbroken if she had to be in a
I'm
boarding
glad we
place.
talked about it, so she'll be here.
Oh, yeah. Very glad. Okay, what else is trending today? Because that's what we do here on the show. We talk about things that are trending. South Park is trending today. South Park apparently has a great, big, huge episode that is airing tonight. Here, let me pull up this one. I got the wrong one here. So sorry. South Park had an episode, their COVID special, which broke all kinds of records for people tuning in to South Park. It's fantastic. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's such a great. I mean, look, I don't think that there has been anybody in the last 30 or 40 years of American social commentary who have been more satirically on point than the South Park people. The South Park people, whenever something big is happening, you can turn to them for their take on it, and it is usually just absolutely brilliant. And so now they're putting out tonight, airing on Paramount Plus. I don't even know what Paramount Plus is. I'm gonna rely on Ed. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm going to rely on Ed to take care of this and make sure that I see this, because he's the reason that I saw the COVID special one in the first place. Excuse me. But here, okay, so the new South Park, let's see what it's called here. And this is why it's trending today. Premiering tonight on Paramount Plus. It's called South Park. Oh, gosh, Hollywood Reporter. I got to wait 6 seconds. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. There we go. All right. South Park movie mocks NFTs as nonsensical investments. Premiering on Paramount Plus on Thursday, South Park's COVID, The Return of COVID, concludes the story that began in the first made-for-TV project that dropped last month. It was really funny. It was their first COVID special, was really funny. And like I said, satirically on point. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, two guys who 25 years ago, when South Park first aired, were derided as, the end of civilization. They were disgusting. They were gross. There was no place in civilized society for these people and their ridiculous senses of humor. Well, here we are 25 years later, and I'm telling you, they are some of the greatest satirists of modern times. They are absolutely brilliant. It doesn't matter. I mean, you cannot think of any major thing that has happened in American society in the last 25 years where South Park didn't have an episode about it that was killer. And their ability to turn around, that was always what was so great about South Park. If something happened, I'll give you a great example. Tom Cruise jumped on the couch on Oprah Winfrey on a Tuesday, and South Park had an entire episode about that 2 days later on Thursday. I mean, that's just how brilliant their turnaround is.
I always wondered like how they did that on SNL as well. It's like their ability to write, in the middle of the night and for days, and then just crash and get it done.
That's exactly how SNL does it. They write everything in the middle of the night. Their writing sessions at SNL are legendary. They go to 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. In the old days, it was all fueled by cocaine. I don't know if that's still the case. I suspect it might still be. It's just not as talked about as it once was. So here's a little clip. South Park in the part 2 that airs tonight on Paramount Plus. They completely go after. Is it sharing? Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, they completely go after NFTs, which is, the whole Bitcoin thing. What does that stand for? Non-fungible token?
I think that's close enough for me.
Yeah, I don't know what the NFT is, but okay, so this is South Park's take on what's going to happen with the NFTs.
It was like nothing I ever saw. Just complete murder and carnage. Everything seemed calm at first, but then this guy in a suit shows up talking about investment opportunities. Next thing you know, these people over here started chanting, "Hodl, hodl," and their NFTs started mooning, and then these guys over here started saying those guys right there right-clicked them and called for a pump and dump, which made these guys beat the living hell out of anyone who said it was just FOMO and died screaming that it was the flippening. Luckily, I came out of it okay. I got this little miniature donkey with a lit-up sombrero. Did you see where the guy in the suit went afterwards? No, he just waltzed right away like nothing happened. Chief, better come take a look at this. We got a small turtle with wings. Could be a great investment opportunity. Excuse me, gentlemen.
All right, well, that's just a clip from tonight's South Park episode, which apparently the boys are not fans of the whole NFT thing. Which
I don't know.
I have
it's just weird. Like, I mean, my kid has Roblox, and he's got like a Roblox account, and they sell merch, and certain part of the merch is collectible. And so you buy this collectible item, and then it goes out of availability, and then you want to resell your merch. You put it on the website. And so let's just say for $20, you get 20,000 Roblox. Okay. That's what it's called, the Roblox.
Like robot blocks, right? I used to think my kid used to play that, and I used to think it was road blocks. Like it was a racing game.
It's Roblox,
Like
Roblox.
Like
and then you got Robux. And so $20 gets you like 20,000 Roblox, I think, or is it 2,000? No, $20 gets you 2,000. That's what it is. Yeah, I was wrong. $20 gets you 2,000 Roblox. They have merch on there that the people want like 100,000, 200,000, 300, 400, 500,000, like with commas, 500,000 Roblox. So you're paying $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, $2,000, $3,000 to wear this hat when you run around in this video game. I mean,
what's the return on what's the ROI on that?
For them, it's huge.
Just because they get to run around with a hat, or
no? I'm saying for the people that own Roblox or the stockholders in Roblox, the ROI is huge.
I don't know.
But why you would want that, or why you think there's value in that, I don't get. But this new generation of computers and people that exist, I guess, behind the keyboard, that is their only way to kind of flex their muscle.
I don't understand money anymore. I mean, I barely understood it when it was the dollar. Now I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm very worried. I'm very worried about how I'm going to live as a 70-year-old man. You know what? And the South Park guys, we've got a turtle with wings. We think it's going to be a good investment opportunity. I think that they feel the same way that I do. Like, none of this seems to make any sense. I don't.
I mean, I don't get it either. Like, there's certain hats, they're called Valks. Well, that's the nickname, Valkyries. They're Valkyries, but they
Valkyries,
nickname the short term is Valks. So you'll click on, and like all the kids want a Valk, and they'll have like, I don't know, maybe 20 different Valks, and like the top one is like for sale at a reseller for like $500,000 Roblox. Like Dominic bought one back when it just came out for like 3,000 Roblox. And right now that's up to like 100,000 Roblox. And
so they're learning to invest.
He thinks he's made a good investment.
Okay.
In his Volk hat. Like he's got, I don't know, I don't know. I'm kind of guilty of it now too, because like when he goes on and he like wants to buy something, like I'll always make sure that he gets the collectible thing versus the non-collectible thing, because I at least know there's supposed to be a limited number of them
until they decide to make more.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like printing money, I guess.
Buy gold. Gold, I tell you, it's the only thing that's going to count for any gold and diamonds.
I would think like someday it's going to go back. Like if everybody just, if tornado hits and we have no power and your internet's not working, gold's going to be the thing again.
Yeah, it is. Golds and firearms. That's it. Guns to protect gold, so that you can trade for bread and water, and then firearms to stop people from stealing your gold. That's all we're going to need in 20 years.
And why did they choose gold? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, why is it gold? Why isn't it silver?
Hard to get.
Well, you figure that, yeah, but like, how'd they know that?
Because it was hard to get then. Because it was like, oh, look what we got. We're looking for dirt, and we found this. This is hard to get.
Like quartz would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be stuff harder to get than gold, right? I mean, they just couldn't get that far with the dig back then. So we settled on gold. Even though now, isn't like that stuff that powers our cell phone batteries, isn't that like the kryptonite of like, isn't that like the most valuable thing? Lithium or uranium or whatever it is? I don't know. Whatever. All right, so on the NFT tip, Melania, our most beautiful first lady, is trending. She is trending because this is why I don't. This is why I'm sketchy on like the whole NFT blockchain economy and all. I mean, again, I'm sketchy because I don't understand it, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because people like Dennis Rodman and now Melania are like involved in it. And it just seems like
does she have her own NFT that she created?
Yeah, she does. Former First Lady Melania Trump announced that she will sell non-fungible tokens, with her first one being offered during the 2021 holiday season. This must be a part of her divorce decree. She's like, I've got to use whatever heat we have here for the next couple of years to make as much money as I can on my own. And then I'm going to marry my personal trainer. And then I'm out of here. And this has got to be part of the overall grift. It's got to be. A statement from Trump said that the NFT artwork, Melania's vision, it's like they used to have perfumes, but now it's these things, uses the Solana blockchain protocol. Oh, that's a good one. I have no idea what that is. What? Trump will accept payments. Oh, I'm sure she will, in the form of credit cards or cryptocurrency. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to help foster children. I'd like to see what portion. The details of the charity effort were not immediately available. It's a charity effort that she's doing, but just a portion is going to the kids.
So I guess at some point, then you're going to post a video screen on your wall at home?
I have no idea. Whatever. Sure.
And then that video screen is going to show these NFTs that it's your own version of digital artwork that nobody else has.
Sure. I don't. Sure. Okay.
Well, but I mean, like, how do you show people your NFTs?
I don't know.
You walk around with your cell phone and go, "Hey, look."
I thought NFTs were money. I thought now it's artwork, but I guess we're just cutting out the middleman, right? I guess art.
Like, I went to the Mavs game the other night, and they sent an NFT, like, to people that were at that game.
What'd they send? I don't know. I don't care. I don't even know what it is. I gotta learn what this shit is. I don't know what this shit is. I'm just totally confused.
It was a picture. Let me see here.
Doesn't make sense. Can I go to Kroger and can I buy cheap meat with it? I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should. You know what I'm hoping my son, who is of this generation, understands it, and then he can guide me through all this stuff.
I do feel just like you. I feel like Grandpa. I got no clue.
I don't
like
get
what it is, and I got it, and I was like, well, who cares? Like, if you sent that to me in an email, it can't be that valuable.
Exactly right. There's no way this is worth anything if you're just giving it away.
Right. So, like, I'm not going to keep it, and I think I deleted the email where I had my first NFT.
All right, let's remember this moment when it's worth $50 billion in 10 years, and you deleted the email. A statement from Trump said that the NFT artwork uses Solana blockchain protocol. The NFTs will be available at melaniatrump.com and will be powered by the Parler platform. That's Twitter for the worst among us. Parler is the one that popped up when Twitter started banning all these awful people. And suddenly, I am proud to announce my new NFT endeavor, which embodies my passion for the arts and will be supported and will support my ongoing commitment to children through my Be Best initiative, she said. The statement went on to call Melania's vision a breathtaking watercolor art by Marc-Antoine Coulon. You know who that is? Marc Antonio Coulon.
I don't.
And embodies Mrs. Trump's cobalt blue eyes, providing... it's a picture of her. It's a picture of her. The artwork will include an audio recording from Trump with a message of hope. Experts have recommended caution when purchasing NFTs.
That I'd tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. All right. I don't think I'll be in that market, but God, I don't know anything about this shit. I really don't. And I feel like I should, but I can barely figure. Seriously, I got signed out of my HBO Max the other day when I was sick, and it took me 2 days to figure out how to sign back in. So what, now I'm supposed to embrace NFTs? I can't even keep my video platform straight. I don't know what I'm doing on any level with anything anymore. The world is too confusing. All right, we will end today's show with a very cool story that I don't think that we have ever heard before, and which is strange because it feels like we should have. Jimmy Carter has been trending the last couple of days. Have you seen this at all? Have you seen why Jimmy Carter is trending?
I'm sure he's building some house somewhere.
No, Jimmy Carter. Well, yeah, he's still doing that. He's like 115, and he's still, going out there every day.
It's almost like you just shouldn't he be in management of building the house by now? Why is he still a laborer?
Dude is out there swinging hammers.
I know.
Right? And it ain't just for cameras.
No.
Apparently he's doing it, when the cameras aren't around. So there was a situation. It was called, what is it? Hold on. Let me find it. Because I had never heard the Chalk River incident up there in the Ottawa Valley in Canada. This happened 69 years ago. And I'd never heard about this. And apparently I should have, because I Googled it and then I'm reading all about it. And I'm like, holy shit, this was a real thing that happened. How come nobody has ever talked about this? And holy shit, Jimmy Carter, this was fact checked by Newsweek today because it's been trending since yesterday. So Newsweek did the whole, did Jimmy Carter really blah, blah, blah. And I read the Newsweek fact check and they're like, answer, yep, he sure did. Jimmy Carter saved the world from a nuclear meltdown when he was 28 years old by heroically, like Captain America, like one of the goddamn Avengers. I'll read you the story, okay? Oh, first of all, a lot of people don't know this. You know, Jimmy Carter, the shit about this guy. I'm telling you, Jimmy Carter was the last truly deserving president of the United States. I don't care what you think about how he was as president of the United States. Doesn't matter. But this dude deserved the job. He was a nuclear physicist. He was one of the leading nuclear experts in the world back in the 1950s.
He should lead with that instead of peanut farmer.
Right? Exactly. Well, they needed him to be non-elite. They needed him to be, like a regular Joe. But no, he was one of the top guys in the United States Navy at 28 years old on nuclear stuff. I can't. All right, so I'm going to read this story to you. This is why Jimmy Carter is trending today. The world's first nuclear reactor meltdown occurred in the Ottawa Valley, and a young U.S. naval officer, future U.S. President Jimmy Carter, was brought in and put in charge of containing the disaster 69 years ago this week. 70 years ago. Leading a team of 24 men, 28-year-old Lieutenant Carter courageously had himself lowered into a damaged reactor. That week, Carter and his team exposed themselves to 1,000 times the level of radiation considered safe by today's standards. News of the December 12, 1952 reactor meltdown at Chalk River sent a shockwave of panic among scientists, politicians, and the general public around the world. Hydrogen explosions followed the meltdown, which then caused hundreds of thousands of gallons of radioactive water to flood into the core. When the Canadian government turned to the U.S. nuclear experts for help, Lieutenant Carter was put in charge of the urgent operation. Carter was one of the few in the world at the time with any expertise in this new technology. First, the reactor had to be shut down and then disassembled and replaced. Page 2. Carter had his team build an exact replica of the reactor on a nearby tennis court to practice each move and track their work as they progressed. Every pipe, bolt, and nut was rebuilt exactly to replicate the damaged reactor. Carter divided himself and his men into teams of 3. Each team worked 90-second shifts, rushing in and cleaning and repairing the reactor precisely as they had practiced on the tennis court. A minute and a half, 90 seconds, was deemed to be the longest the human body could handle the amount of radiation that remained in the area, even with protective gear. It was still way too much radiation. Carter and his team absorbed a year's worth of radiation in each of those 90-second shifts. Carter's urine was still testing as radioactive 6 months later, and the future president's health was affected for the rest of his life. This nightmare experience affected Carter's views on nuclear power for the rest of his days. His first-hand exposure to the Chalk River disaster suddenly gave Carter a more profound respect for the destructive power of nuclear energy, and that influenced decisions he would make a quarter century later in the Oval Office, including his decision to cancel the U.S. military's development of a neutron bomb. The dude was lowered into a damaged nuclear reactor. I mean, why isn't that a movie? Doesn't that sound like an awesome movie?
It sounds like it's one about to come out as soon as he dies.
Yeah, I don't know. The Newsweek story here that I found that fact-checked, it goes into a little bit more detail. Where did we find the Newsweek story? Yeah, I don't know. But it just seems to me like, why? I don't care.
Why is he still alive at almost 100 when he's been exposed to that much radiation?
Maybe he's still alive because he was exposed to that much radiation. I don't know. Just, I mean, man, like we said, you can't name me another former president who has been as actively decent as Jimmy Carter has been. He's certainly, he may not have been the greatest president we ever had because, a lot of bad crap happened, when he was president. But I am telling you, there is not a person alive who could debate honestly that he's not the best former president.
As a person.
As a human being, as
Right.
somebody who is actually, and he's also, I've heard this argued too. He's also probably the last true Christian president, the guy who is just really all about the Christian values and really all about, at least, as far as, the disciples of Jesus would have behaved. I mean, I guess, on some level, George W.
His wife is still alive too.
They're both still alive. He's
Mhm.
got that nuclear dick. He's got that thing that's keeping them both alive for all these years. That's all I'm saying.
Say that.
I think we should. Why not? Why not? I think Jimmy Carter's a cool enough guy. He'd get a kick out of that. Why not? Jimmy Carter and his nuclear dick, keeping him and Rosalind alive at 115 years old. Look that up, folks. If you don't believe me, look up Chalk River disaster. Never heard of that before. Never heard of it before. Why hasn't there been a movie about that? A heroic deed done by a guy who goes on to be a president of the United States, and we've never seen a TV movie about it? Never seen a documentary? Come on, Hollywood. You're remaking Romance in the Stone in some stupid Sean Payton show, but we can't see a movie like that? All right, that's going to do it.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody. I'm going to hang out for a few minutes after the song and answer some of the questions that I see here in the chat room, so you can stick around with me if you'd like. Other than that, we'll be back tonight for Pillow Talk. I feel good. And again, I appreciate all of the nice, kind words and the notes that y'all sent me.
All right.
You didn't hear my rant on. Hey, he's gone. He's gone. All right, there we go. That's all right. All right. I am not taking a fourth booster. Not. The third one just kicked my ass. All right, folks. See you in a few minutes.
I was down and out, without a doubt, looking for my home. I was down and out, without a doubt, the only home I've known. I would like to settle down, just live off the land. Serenity is what I found. I have to make a stand. Everyone has a dream, honey, so did I. I was lost in the world, enough to make you cry. I was down and out, without a doubt, looking for my home. I was down and out, without a doubt, the only home I've known. I was down and out, without a doubt, looking for my home. I was down and out, without a doubt, the only home I've known.
And we're back. All right. Welcome to the backstage edition of today's High Noon Show. Let me run through some of these comments from you fine folks in the chat room. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Albert. Leslie's dreading the booster. Yeah, Leslie, fear the booster. I mean, get it, but fear it. Knock me on my ass. Still feeling a little iffy, but no fever. So that's good. Although I can tell you, I'm going to climb back in bed after this, and I'm going to go to sleep for, I don't know, probably a couple of hours. Whatever. I'm not pushing anything. I feel very vulnerable. Jeff once again says, can allergies cause a fever generally? No. Sometimes, however, allergy symptoms can make you vulnerable to a bacterial or viral infection, and a bacterial or viral infection can lead to a fever. So you can indirectly blame the fever on your allergy. A vaccine is an artificial viral infection. Let's see here. All right, Dr. 5150, I ain't going there. Jeff Glenn says, Deep State Rittenhouse. Now that's a conspiracy theory I can get behind and let him cash in, so there will be something there to take away when the civil suits rain down. Yeah, that's a really good. There's going to be a bunch of civil suits against him. So yeah, he needs to make some money, I guess. The Curb episode where everyone thought Jeff was Harvey Weinstein was the best. Yeah, we talked about Jeff Garland. He's been fired. Was mutual from the Goldbergs because apparently I don't know, he had some problems there. A little too aggressive. Ed Silla being completely ridiculous, thinking that stupid Kevin James, Sean Payton show is somehow going to be good. All right, whatever. I'm trying not to be so snobby about it, but that thing looks absolutely hideous. Bill Martin agrees that it's lame. My boy Tom says, I'm sure Sean Payton has signed off on this. Stop being so cynical, Pugs. Not everything needs to be award-winning. No, but not everything also needs to be stupid, and there's way more stupid. Ed says, okay, if it wasn't about Sean Payton and just a concept, what would you think? I think it looks like something cute for the kids, but it is about Sean Payton, and that's not what I want to see. Everyone born with the name Springsteen from now on are set for life. Yeah, I would pretty much think that was the case beforehand, but yeah, certainly now that he sold his entire catalog to Sony for $500 million. Ed says Sandra Bullock is 57 and still a total smoke show. Well, yes, agreed. Here is why I'm hedging on that. Not because she's 57, but because I've never thought she was a total smoke show. When she was 25, I thought that she was cute. She's a cute girl. She's a good girl. Good-looking girl. Fine-looking woman. But I know people who just think that she is like, you know what? I need to make my list of women that I've never really thought were as beautiful as my friends. My friends, I have friends that think that there are women out there just, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really see it. But then again, there are women that I think that are absolutely astronomical world beaters that my friends don't like. Yeah. You know, Sheryl Crow is in that group. I think Sheryl Crow is a fine looking woman, but don't come at me with Sheryl Crow being better looking than, Farrah Fawcett or whatever. I ain't going for that. Sheryl Crow's like the hottest singer of all. No, she's an attractive woman. Let's just leave it at that. She's a fine looking woman. Who else is on that list of women I never really got? Well, Sarah Jessica Parker tops the list. I never really understood that. And by the way, I'm off of Sex and the City. I watched like 6 episodes of the first season, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to agree that people like this show and that not everybody likes the same thing. And we'll move on from that because I just do not. There is so much in the first 6 episodes of Sex and the City that would not play today. That would absolutely. That's all I'll say about it. Let's see here. Channing Tatum has 0 charisma. I don't know, Ross, if I agree with that. I do like Channing Tatum. I don't dislike him. I don't know that he oozes charisma, but truth is that they got Brad Pitt in that movie, and Brad Pitt's got a whole bunch of that there charisma, so he's good. Let's see here. Some advice for E on how to get the smell of dog urine out of places where we don't know where it is. Quite frankly, we're good with the dog urine right now. I think it's the dog. I think it's the dog who actually smells like urine, and the dog is getting a bath anyway, so that's good. Maybe it's time. Let's see, what else do we have here? I'd rather remain poor than do all that NFT bullshit. Well, I don't know about that, Ross. I feel like there are so many things in my life that I have watched go from a really stupid idea that I refuse to get involved in to becoming like massive $1 million money ventures for other people that I don't comfortably turn my nose up at any idea anymore. I mean, I fully believe that by the time I'm in my 70s, that people who bought Bitcoin in 2010 will be billionaires. And I am prepared for that reality. I'm not happy about it because they might also look like fools. But, I'm old enough now to see that, a lot of things that I thought were just foolish, bad money after good money after bad, as they say, have turned out in a lot of people's favor. So, I don't know. But it's so tired head. It is just so tired head trying to figure out what this blockchain money is. I have no idea. And I know I should learn about it, but I can't muster up the energy. Just even thinking about it makes me, like I said, I can barely grasp the concept of the modern dollar. I can, what do you mean it's backed by nothing? Well, it's backed by holdings in the cumulative wealth of the United States. Okay. I don't know what that means, but if you say so, I don't. Then again, I'm a guy who solicits for tips. That's how I make my living. So obviously I'm not a financial genius. Tell you what I need. I need to be a lottery winner. I need to be a lottery winner so I can just do these shows and not have to worry about it. I mean, I'm bearing down. I'm bearing down at the worst Christmas ever, but that's okay because, as I say, doing this show makes me happy. Makes me. I was in a bad place before I started doing these shows, so you people are helping me out here, and I appreciate it. Let's see here. What else do we got? Jeff Glenn says Jimmy Carter still teaches Sunday school. Yeah, I believe that. Totally believe that. Jimmy Carter. Well, the guy's like a saint, man. And the guy, it's just like there's so many people. I always say, try not to be on the wrong side of history. And there are just so many people still walking this earth who are on the wrong side of history when it comes with Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is a good man. He has every step of the way demonstrated a decency and a morality that almost nobody else that has reached his level of political success can counter. I mean, the guy is just unrivaled as far as and this is not a political statement. This is a statement about the guy. Name me another president, a former president who has done what he has done, that has done even close. I mean, Reagan didn't do anything. Reagan retired, and we're going through the list. After Jimmy Carter was Reagan. Reagan went and rode horses on his ranch and then got sick, but he didn't do anything. He wasn't out there, Then you had Herbert Walker Bush, right? You had him. He didn't do anything. And you got Clinton. I don't trust anything that Clinton's done. He's got the Clinton fund. He's flying around. He's doing all these things. But no. You got W. Bush. W. Bush is he's painting. He's a wonderful guy. He lives in this neighborhood. He's hanging out at hardware stores in the Highland Park area, striking up conversations with people and painting dogs. That's, God bless him. That's what he wants to do. He's out of the public eye. He doesn't want to have anything to do with that. You got Obama. I don't know. Maybe Obama's doing stuff. Trump going to be Jimmy Carter? Going to be out there building? Come on. I mean, there just hasn't been, that I can recall, any president who's been even remotely as decent and as big a humanitarian as what Jimmy Carter has been since leaving the Oval Office in 1980. That's just a fact. That can't be argued. And if you are arguing, you're an asshole who's just being political. I don't care if you don't like what, he's a liberal Democrat. Yeah, he's also from Georgia. He's also a Christian from a southern state. So, wrap your mind around that. Okay, enough about Jimmy Carter, the hero. Seriously, though, Chalk River incident. Hey, you got to read up on that. I had no idea until I read about that today. That was incredible. Hero, Captain America stuff, Avenger shit. Let's see here. I saw Nuclear Dick back in 95. I love that. That's a good band. That's a good band name, Nuclear Dick. That's a reference to why Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter are still alive, well into their hundreds. That's not true. They're like 96 or something like that. Albert says, I'm getting my Moderna Friday night. Well, I don't know if it's your first, your second, or your third. My first shot of Pfizer just had me feeling a little bit like dick heavy. I was, ugh. And then the second one was kind of the same thing. Ugh. But the third one, they mixed it up on me. They gave me a little Moderna this time, and it knocked me on my ass. I was so sick. So good luck to you, but I am done. There is no fourth shot for me. I am done. I would rather die, which apparently is the option that I'm choosing here. I say this now. Like I'm still only, I don't know, about 24 hours removed from the worst of my sickness. It's a little too close. I don't want to go through that again. I don't even want. You know what I realized when I was sick, like Tuesday night at like 10 o'clock? I realized that I have not been legitimately sick in decades. I mean, I have allergies. I deal with my allergies all the time. And I've had colds and, I've had like a 24-hour bug where I felt like garbage because maybe I ate something or I caught something, but it was gone. It was gone right away. I just had a momentary, fever, chills and all that stuff. But being sick, like laid up sick for multiple days, that is something that I don't think I've experienced in 25, 30 years maybe. I mean, I had mono. I had really bad mono like back in the 90s. That was the last time that I was even remotely as sick and feeling as poorly as I felt after getting that third booster shot. It was the worst. And I remember laying in bed yesterday morning. It was probably like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I felt like absolute garbage. And I remember just fantasizing about how wonderful it's going to be when I'm well again. It was such a weird thought. But I'm laying there, I'm shivering and I'm sick, and I'm like, I just got to muscle through this. But oh my God, I am going to celebrate. I'm going to be so happy when this is over. And then I fell asleep, woke up in a pool of my own sweat, fever broke. I felt really good. It was beautiful. I went through it. I made it. Strong like bull. Oh, that's not true. Like I said, I'm going to take a nap after this because I'm still feeling that. The long hauler. I'm a booster shot long hauler. Still got a little bit of iffiness here. But my energy's good. I hope my energy has been good on the show because I had to, manufacture a little bit of it. I'm kind of faking my way through this stuff. Let's see. Albert says, my wife got her second shot and was put on a ventilator. Oh, my God. I hope you're all right. Back in July of last year, she wants nothing to do with the vaccines anymore. That's terrible. That is terrible. I'm sorry you guys had to go through that. I'm just, I had a friend of mine told me her kid has COVID, and we were talking, and she said, I'm just so done with this. I'm done with this Corona thing. And I wanted to say to her, yeah, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're done with it. Is it done with you? It's because, this isn't really our choice. We don't get to just be done with it. Yeah. It's just such a terrible situation. April, been out driving and shopping and couldn't chat. So very glad to have you back in my daily routine. Glad you are doing a little better. And thankfully, my booster didn't knock me down like yours. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you, April. That's very nice of you to say. Jeff Glenn says, Carter, there might have been better presidents. There's never been a better man. I think that's probably true. I don't know what Howard Taft was. Is that Taft? Is that a president? Taft was a president. Was his name Howard? I don't know what he was like. He might have been a good dude too. I don't know what John Quincy Adams was like to just hang out and shoot the shit with. But you're probably, at least the presidents that I'm familiar with. He seems like he's a pretty good dude. So Jimmy Carter, we're talking about. Albert, she's doing great now. Okay, good. Albert's wife, she was put on a ventilator. Good. I'm glad she's good. She had underlying conditions. Oh, that's rough. That is, I said I talked to my doctor friend, Greg, and he told me that the reason that I was experiencing such terrible side effects from the third booster wasn't necessarily because it was Moderna, because I mixed and matched. I had Pfizer the first 2 times and then Moderna, but it was because I was already battling. If you remember, I had my first my booster shot scheduled for Friday afternoon, last Friday, and I canceled that because I had a really bad allergy attack last week. And it was really bad because of this crazy weather where it's 40 degrees at, 9 o'clock at night, and then 80 degrees at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then back down to 30 degrees at 10 o'clock at night, and then 80 degrees. It was crazy. It was going up and down, and my allergies were going nuts, and I was fighting this war. So I canceled the first booster shot appointment that I had for last Friday because everyone was telling me, yeah, don't get the booster if you're having an allergy attack. But then I rescheduled it for Monday, and I assumed that my allergies would be gone, but this weather kept getting crazier and crazier. Like I said, I got my air conditioning on right now. It's 80 degrees currently on December 16th here in North Texas. It is 80 degrees. I got my air conditioning on. So my allergies did not clear up by Monday, and I had the appointment, and I was honestly afraid that if I canceled another appointment, would they put me on some list or I'm just one of these, they think I'm one of these people who are just booking appointments so that other people can't get vaccinated. So I went through with it, and because I was already having the allergy issue, and you can tell my voice is still screwed up from my allergy. Because I was having the allergy issue, I decided, well, how bad can it be? It was bad. It was so bad. It was, like I said, my body was fighting World War II. It was fighting on 2 fronts. It was fighting the allergy thing, and then it had this, the antibodies that were injected into it, and it was fighting over there. It was just rough. I never want to go through that again. But, at no time, the big problem with coronavirus is, the breathing. It hurts your lungs, and, people go on ventilators because they can't breathe. Never at any time did I have any breathing issues. Throughout whether it's from my allergy. I mean, I had breathing issues for my allergies because my nose was all stuffed up, but that's not the same thing as having breathing issues because your lungs are all stuffed up. That was never a problem. It was just fever and chills and body aches and constant headache, and my nose was all stuffed up, and I was constantly coughing from the drainage that was going. It was awful. It was awful. I don't want to go through that again. Lightheaded. Oh, that's the other symptom that was weird. Every time I would get out of bed to go to the bathroom or something, that's the other thing that was happening. I had the trots. And I know this wasn't the allergies because the allergy doesn't give me the trots. But whatever the vaccine they put in me, boy, they gave me the trots. And it was horrible trots because I wasn't eating anything and I was only drinking like gallons of ice water. That's all. Just ice water, ice water, ice water. So the trots were very interesting. They were not. I'll leave it at that. Let's see here. Leslie says I need a neti pot for my sinuses. I've tried that, and it doesn't really work for me. I mean, it works very momentarily, very briefly. It works, and that's where you pour the thing up your nose. It's way more uncomfortable than it is effective for me. So I appreciate that, but it's just I've tried that. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it. I think we've run through it. Try again. Okay. Thank you, Leslie. I always appreciate your advice. We're doing okay. I haven't been able to take my allergy medications that I usually take when I was really sick because there's like a whole mix and match thing that I didn't want to do. So I left my body to fight off the allergy portion of it on its own. But I woke up, actually last night is when I first took it. I took my allergy medication. So I'm breathing pretty good right now instead of, can ask my mom. She hates that. She knows when my allergies are bad because she can hear me walking around going, it's not attractive. You can also ask any of my ex-wives. It's not an attractive feature in me, but none of that right now. Just this. Oh, and the snoring. It's another thing. When my allergies are bad, better have multiple rooms because you don't want to be sick. You better just go sleep outside because my snoring gets so loud when my allergies are bad. My kid has most recently pointed that out to me. It's like sleeping with an elephant. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, I'm sorry these walls are so thin. I'm sorry that from the other room you can't. All right, that's it. We're going to end the show. Appreciate it. Use regularly, she says about the neti pot. I did. I'm telling you, I did. It doesn't work. It works for a very brief period of time. It's like I have to constantly do it, and it's very uncomfortable. So, maybe you need a CPAP. Oh, I hope not, Leslie. I'm not that old. Not yet. Oh, please don't give me that. And besides, once the weather evens out, once it becomes a certain kind of weather for a period of time, my allergies will go away. They will. They'll be fine. They'll even. It's just the allergy problem is occurring because we're having these insane shifts. Where I've said this before. When I lived in an area where we had 4 seasons, I got allergy attacks twice a year. I got it in the spring when it changed from cold to warm. That's when I would have an allergy attack for a week, and then the weather would stay a certain way, and I would be fine. And then in the fall, I would get it again when it went from warm to winter to cold, and I would have it just for a week, and then it would be fine. But since I moved back here, it has just been insane. It's like my body is like, okay, cool. It's winter now, so we're gonna just get this over with, and then it does its winter thing, and then the temperature drops to or goes up to 80, and then my body goes, oh, hold on, wait a second, it's summer again. Here, let's hit him with another allergy. And then the next day it's winter again. Okay, hold on, fix that. Now we got to do it this, and it's just an endless cycle of just concrete, water park. Concrete water park. That's when it gets cold. My head is like concrete, where everything is just stuck and there's pressure. And then when it gets warm, it's all like everything is flowing, everything is loose. It's just gross. It's terrible. But I will survive. There are people with actual issues out there. There are actual sick people, as I was a couple of days ago, and so I'm not going to complain about. Look, I am an Adonis otherwise. All right, bye, everybody. I love you. We'll see you tonight for Pillow Talk. Hope you can join us. Again, think of us this Christmas season. If you can donate. And, Leslie, thank you so much. Leslie's such a wonderful supporter of the show. She's always has been. Those are the things right there. I'm not going to do any more of that. But thank you so much to the people that have helped out the show. And like I said, it's Christmas time. So think of us. You get a big bonus. Throw a little something our way. You guys are the best. We'll talk to you tonight at 9:00. And that's it. Okay.